Oh, just a second.
We'll most likely do a bomb first, but that's fine.
No, I have to turn off the fucking push to talk.
I think we should skip trash just to make it.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah, some of them
Maybe you
maybe
can
to
say
go.
that dangerous. We can talk about the dangerous ones, but it's mostly gonna be like we're gonna
Yeah, we can
do
do
it
it on the fly.
the day of. Yeah. Once we do that, especially this trash, it's just like AoE trash basically,
Mostly, yeah.
except for the it's like the is the green one that does like like poison
Yep,
spray.
needs
You
to be cleansed.
just turn it around.
Cleanse would suggest those elixir of poison resistance. Save your buffs.
Yep.
Poison totems if you're in shaman groups.
Well, what they do is they charge at the range, so you'll have to solo a cleanse. What? Well, basically, how the mechanic works, it'll charge basically a distant target, and then infect anybody within 5 yards of that target with
Crip,
the
where you
poison.
going?
Oh, it didn't on the PTR. I didn't see any evidence that it charged a melee.
Uh,
But you gotta kill the one in Swamp Sorrows first.
All right, I think most people joined, right?
I don't know. How many is it? 29?
I see 23, I think 24.
24 spectators.
Good
All right.
enough. Good
That
enough.
is it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
honestly, if we don't have all 40 people at least watch the recording by the day, then we kind of wasted time. Because there are many bosses where if you just don't know what's happening or what we are doing, we're just gonna fuck the raid.
you think I don't know that?
Yeah.
I've done this fucking raid multiple times. All
Yeah,
right,
it's pretty good.
all right. So this boss is easy as fuck. Basically, Neely's gonna pick up X Shig's skull. You phase them away from the raid and you cleave them down with melee. We might, maybe not week one, but we might eventually like drag them next to the boss where the skull is where I'm gonna tank it in the back. We might like cleave them down with the boss eventually. I don't know if we'll do that week one. We'll see.
I would suggest against it because, well, like he starts his impale basically 10 seconds into the fight. And
Let's
then if all the melee is clumped up together, cleaving this stuff, all gonna get hit.
let's just focus on week one
Are
strat.
you gonna are we cleaving on where the ads are right now, or like where are we moving the ads?
We're gonna bring them like left side, basically.
So
Just go
bring X to skull. I'll
like
bring it over to.
right there.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Kill both of them. Phase them away because they root and they
Well,
cleave.
they'll root. Yeah, everybody needs to pop FAP. That's melee.
Yeah. Pop a
And
fab, we cleave them down, then by the time the fab is ending, they're pretty much gonna be dead. Then we DPS down the boss. At some point, after a few seconds, after like 90 seconds, I think. Yeah,
yeah,
90
something like that.
seconds. If he's not dead, like Newt's gonna be in my group, and he's gonna give me a speed boost. I'm gonna go around the ring right here on the outer edge, and then so you guys gonna be super far away from it. It does like a crazy nature damage and silences you if you're near it. So You just like go where square is, and you wait for the boss to be on the other side, basically.
Yeah, and a mad will spawn during that time, and he'll also blow up the corpses of these things, and scarabs will spawn. Oh, it's no big deal.
It's just like some little trash you guys have to kill while I'm positioning the boss. And then when he's on the other side, then we kill him. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
Uh,
the only danger here is the impale, which will hit for about 3k on cloth, and then you'll take another maybe 15% of your health from full damage. So
There is the other danger is like healing is really light on this fight for the most part, but it's imperative that everything is done really fast, like shields, flash heal, lesser healing wave, because when someone dies, they turn into a couple bugs that'll then go on to other healer, that'll then go on to healers and whatnot, and so it's like every time someone dies, it just becomes much harder. Like you can
deaths are pretty
recover.
rare on this boss, but
Yeah,
the
but
only deaths
the
you would
point is,
see is if you get knocked up in the air and you don't have like anything to put your HP back up, or like fall
well,
damage
that's why
might die.
it's if you get knocked up by an impale, it's enough time for people to get off flash heal or lesser healing waves. So that's why people should be taught because yeah, if one or two people die, it's really not a big deal and we can deal with it. But it can like kind of like was it like snowball out of control if like a group of five people die and then it wrecks some healers and then they just start wrecking more people. So
yeah, one thing is the range and the melee will have to like spread out in like a cone, because he'll do that,
Yeah,
and you
it's
want to
that,
avoid
yeah,
the
you
damage.
saw
that's the
it's pretty
impale.
small. It's pretty small, so like you want to spread out. Like even melee, when you're DPSing behind them, just like spread out in a big cone or a big like half moon, I would say, around his hitbox. So like not all the melee group gets hit when he does the thing.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it for this boss.
This boss is like an easy fucking boss though.
Yeah, I mean,
Once you've
Well,
done it once, it's like easy.
it
I
should
would.
it should be easy. Just also like the big heads up is when he starts switching around to the side of the room when like Beef and Newt start running around the side. He has was it 40-yard range?
Yeah, 40.
40-yard range where he does a lot of nature damage. So don't be close.
Yeah, you stay on the left and you're good.
Yeah, we
There was
treat
a
every single boss as lethal for week one, and then we can treat at least half of them as a joke. We'll see.
Mhm. This trash is kind of. I can explain it the day of. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's pretty simple.
This one is easy.
We'll need to explain the Ferlina trash though. That one is fucking cancer.
Those spiders right here that pat, those two are fucking deadly.
Yeah,
That's the ones that charge and apply poison. Can one shot somebody. Yeah, we should probably do that.
oh, you mean pull them back so people can spread over here?
Right.
Yeah,
And Shigs, yeah, Shigs and somebody and like two or three healers go out on the right side here. With one of them at OS, so it doesn't charge the rest of the raid.
okay. Let me mark these. Yeah, so in on classic, there's going to be 6 packs here instead of 4. Uh, the two main mobs here.
Yeah, there's like two, like there's one on your right there. But yeah,
Yeah, the one is going to be here, and one's going to be further on
it's
over
pretty
here.
dangerous to chain pull if you fuck up here because some of them knocks you back, so you can't go in charging.
Yeah, so the acolytes alternate between casting Shadow Bolt volleys and arcane explosions, and that's a lot of damage actually
The
on the
the
BTR
cult
at least.
the cultist does the shadow damage, and the
Yeah,
acolytes does the arcane explosion and the knockbacks.
no, the cultist does the knockbacks. The shadow
Yeah, my
shot,
bad.
whatever.
Yeah, Acolyte does the Shadow Volley and the AoE. Yeah.
Yeah, so they are not stunnable, but the acolytes should be interruptible. What we can do is assign mages at the start of the pull to counterspell the Shadow Ball volley, so they'll come closer to us sooner, and we can find them back here, so we don't have to worry about knockback from the cultists. That's maybe like 25, 30 yards knockback and drops all aggro. And they don't have a lot of health. They have like 25k health each, but they do a lot of damage. And
No,
we
they
cannot
do
chain pull
die.
them.
They do die really fast, but yeah, the first pack especially, like you have to be really careful when you pull it. Yeah, I think counterspelling wouldn't be a bad idea here. Just to yeah, like you said, bring them in the corridor with us to kill them, right?
Yeah,
Make sure we don't have melees go in the room and then get knocked back 30 yards in the other pack, and then it's fucked. It's just like a chain pull.
yeah. Chain pull is a lot of people will die if not a wipe.
Oh yeah, they do like insane AoE damage.
Yeah, and on the PTR, the spiders that padded around were like social aggroing the fucking thing. So those have to be kind of careful about.
Yeah, you have to pull them first, the spiders,
Mm,
as a hunter, when they pad to the entrance of the room.
yeah, it's
We'll,
not a
we'll
good
have
idea.
to carefully pull them week one. Just make sure we don't pull anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll assign like a mage to every acolyte so we can counterspell them so they come in melee range with the other ones, and then we're gonna cleave them down. Gonna have tanks, two targets each. Cleave that should go.
Yeah.
Okay, Ferlina, another decently one of the easier boss in Naxx for sure.
Yeah, once we figure it out, it's like the easiest next to Grobulus maybe.
Let me open my assignment sheet. By the way, you guys can open also the assignment sheet in the spreadsheet, the guild spreadsheet. We did some work on it for
It's
these
not all
bosses.
finished, but the gist of everything's there. So this fight, like the she casts like rain of fires throughout the whole thing, and fire pots are so cheap. Everyone should just have a fire pot pre-potted. That saves a lot. At the beginning of the fight, there's a decent amount of healing burst on all the tanks, but obviously that tapers off as we destroy ads.
Yeah, the start of fight is the chaotic part. We need to let the tanks grab their targets. The worshippers, nobody should be touching ever except priest
Yeah.
and off tank.
So yeah, at the beginning, Neely gonna pick up like Skull and X. Those are gonna be like the targets we're gonna kill straight away with melee and everybody. Like
They are stunnable, by the way.
don't put square at. I guess the melee can just kill Skull. Like it doesn't matter if there's a tank on it. It doesn't hit
They
hard.
do about 2k damage on plate per attack.
Yeah, it's manageable.
What level are those worshippers?
They are 61.
I think you'll be able to taunt it, like just like taunt Skull and like focus on X, and by the time it should die like in a few
They have
seconds.
a 100k health, so we can stun lock them and kill them. Uh, the reason why we want to stun lock them is because they have a charge and a silence, so range will be spread out throughout the room here, like 10 yards apart if you can. And this also helps with the rain of fires she's gonna be casting throughout. And then the part of fight you don't really have to worry about, but it's what priest will be doing at the start of the fight. He'll mind control one of the worshippers
Yeah, put square on it.
and sacrifice it on top of the boss
Yeah. So
for. Go ahead.
He's gonna
Yeah,
do it on pool. He's gonna do it on pool.
there's basically for Devost as well, so he knows, or any priest, they have an ability, sacrifice, it blows them up and it silences the boss. So typically, like you only have to do it like once every minute to prevent her from enraging, but right off the bat, we'll just uh,
Which one was it? Who's talking?
chins.
What?
Okay, I muted him.
For a little bit, okay?
Did-
Then we gotta
did
go
you-
sleep, okay?
He's
Yeah,
really
look
paying
muted to me.
attention. He must be really pay attention to the movie night, bro.
I mean, he's done all that before.
But yeah, anyhow, so but we just automatically burn an ad because that gives us, what is it, 30 seconds instead of a minute, and
Yeah.
we don't need that many ads up at the same time. So
No, the boss has 1.3 million health.
It's
which
gonna
is a joke.
die really fucking fast, just like Suicide it at the start of the fight.
oh, she has 1.3. How much does Fankris have? Like ish.
Fankris has 1 million, I think.
So she's gonna die in about a minute.
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, when she gets to like half health, I might just start burning off the ads then, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, sorry. It's an old habit.
Yeah. So like all melees will kill Skull and X real fast at the start, and maybe do some stuns on it, like we said. After that, you guys will all go on the boss. I'll be tanking it in that top platform, doing circles. Like maybe I'll start like counterclockwise. I'll go like in the right side corner first, and then when there's a rain of fire, I'll move it a bit back. I'll do the circle around to avoid rains of fires, basically. And Shake's gonna be tanking all the other mind control ads, which there's gonna be 3 left, like on the left corner where Nuke put the square. Pretty much is where Shake's gonna be tanking them. No damage on these ads, and then Priest or the boss gonna mind control them when needed to silence the boss, basically every 30 seconds.
Yep, and just always keep an eye on whatever priest is mind controlling, because they may have to just eat a rain of fire for a little bit at some times, and so just stand in it.
Yeah, and another thing for casters, the sacrifice has a 15-yard range. So when he explodes the arcane explosion, it puts a debuff on anyone in 15 yards that slows your casting speed for 25% and silences nature spells. Just to keep in mind. But nobody should be standing as a caster close to the boss. That's all I'm saying.
Priest, when would I ever mind control if needed?
If he dies,
If I die,
If he dies, okay.
Yeah,
or,
just
or
make
if I'm-
sure
yeah,
to be kind of between the stack of worshippers and the boss, because if you're standing here and mind controls
Yeah,
and
the
move it
range.
back there, yeah, it's gonna break.
It's
But
based on where you're at.
I'll be tanking the boss around the platform, like I said. So depends on where it is at the time you're doing it.
but yeah, did you see the two different mob types to boss and get which
Yeah,
ones?
there's
were going?
the two big guys and then the two smaller ones that look, or four smaller ones that are warlock like.
Yep.
Worshippers are the ones you mind control. Don't worry about the other ones; they're gonna be dead in a few seconds at the start. There's 4 of them. These like you kill small fighters first. The big guys they do like a root. It's pretty easy. All this trash is can explain it on the fly, pretty much.
Yeah, some of the trash in this
The
next room is
most
different.
the most dangerous trash is those green spiders there and those gargoyles. Basically.
Yeah,
A lot of this trash are good spots to use nature potions and even shadow potions, or even if they're just the cheap ones, just to get through.
I'd use the cheap because you're gonna pop a lot of keep your grader for the actual bosses.
Yep.
The trash is different here and there, right? It's not the
Yeah,
same.
it's
It's
on class.
the
It's gonna
gar
be ghouls and
the
like a
gargoyles
shades.
and the ghouls are not even there on this.
Yeah,
And the ghosts.
Yeah, so it's really not. Don't pay attention to trash. Basically, it's gonna be totally different. The version we're playing. Oh, Max, nah.
So we all popping Petris on Max now?
Petri,
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 Petri, Petri,
Petri.
Petri.
I think action free is it living action potion apparently works. I'm not sure if it does,
I have a big doubt about that one.
but yeah,
Could
it's gonna be
could you mark the web web wrap spots or cocoons or whatever they're called?
well, you see it visually, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's along this entire web up here. 3 people will be knocked up and need to be DPS down, and that will happen like every
And
20
healed.
seconds.
Yeah, every 20 seconds when three people get sent and webbed on the wall, like we'll need every like casters basically turn around and cast on them instantly so we can get them out fast.
Yeah. Other than that, this is mostly like a tank healer fight where
Yeah, it's a tank and spank basically.
and she only has 1.5 million health.
Yeah, it's pretty tank and spank. Just the main mechanic of the fight is when she does what's is it called web spray,
Yep.
whatever.
Was free.
Basically, everyone is popped up in a cocoon unless you were an autist that popped a Petri flask.
Petri.
And what is it, like 10 seconds? Or
8.
okay, so it's only 8 seconds, but she does hit tanks reasonably hard enough. So we're gonna have to put hots on the tank in advance, put a shield up, and an abolish poison. And for that 8 seconds, we can do nothing but sit there in our little
And
stealthy
pray that I don't die.
Yeah, I think yeah, here's the web spray.
Yeah,
So
I'll have like life giving and last stand, so like I'll last stand on one and life giving on the other one and shield wall for the enrage spray.
How
Yeah, and
often does
here's
she
the
do it?
debuff. This poison needs to be cleansed throughout the fight.
Yeah, you have to have the remove poison all the time instantly on me.
yep, the abolish poison is going to be the big one, and also shield is a good amount of mitigation during that 8 seconds where we can't do anything. So unless it's like saving a tank's life, never
I'll
worry
be wearing a
about
shield on this fight, so guys can't go basically fucking crazy on DPS most of the time. So depends on RNG, but I'll have less threat than usual.
Yeah,
Just
pulling thread on this, and then she does her poison shock spray thing,
it's
whatever.
a if you pull thread on this, it's a wipe basically. Well, not yeah, it's mostly a wipe most of the time. Yeah,
but
let's say it like that.
so for the most part, just everyone spamming on beef. There are going to be those web wraps, like we were saying earlier. They do damage to the 3 people who get thrown up there, so they need to be healed while range is trying to free them. And then what's with the ads?
Yeah, they're gonna be spawning throughout.
Every 30 seconds, around 30 seconds,
Yeah, something.
there's like 10 small spiders that spawns. This will have like your warlocks and mages AoE a lot, and like just the melee cleave them down
Yeah,
on
so
the boss.
there will be some raid damage, but it's really not a primary concern. So
Most of the damage will be on me. Yeah. Yeah, and 30% she enrages. So like we wanna, if there's like a wrap coming up and she's like at 35, like we can stop DPS for a few seconds and push it after the wrap, so it's easier to kill. That's about it though. It's a pretty tank and spank fight. Other than that.
yeah, also just be careful about healing buffs because we went through it to count up all the buffs and see what we could get away with for that, but we didn't account for things like Scarab Brooch and a few others. So if it's not listed,
Basically, all my buffs gonna get dispelled
yeah.
in this fight.
If it's not
Yeah.
listed in the heal assignments, then please refrain.
I already know all my buffs are gonna be gone.
Later.
Buffs?
What are buffs?
Easy. Just don't get buffs. Then
Yeah, exactly.
Reese, why are you telling them my pro strats, man?
I think it would make all of this way more fun personally, but
Tell that to the people going bankrupt on consumables.
I'm guessing we don't really need to explain any of
Consumes.
this trash.
What is consume?
The lightning totem, it doesn't do a lot of damage.
This stuff dies so quickly, it's not a problem. They do
Well,
seem to have a long aggro range.
It's like you target the living monstrosity and the totems, and just cleave everything down. It's pretty straightforward. Can you aggro him? I don't know if it's gonna cast it, but it should
Oh.
like spawn a small totem or something.
Yeah, it does. Let's see.
And it does like crazy chain lightning damage.
No, it doesn't. It was very weak on the PTR.
There it is.
That's
This
just
is
because
retail.
it dies fast, but yeah. Like if it spawns like totems after a few seconds, just kill them basically, just to avoid like an unnecessary AoE damage. But I'll say that just before we do that actual trash. Patchwork is gonna be a little bit cancer probably. Week
Yep.
1.
yeah.
Probably
one-
one of the hardest boss week 1.
One
I'd
thing
say.
that should be stressed out for healers is just how immediate and brutal the damage is gonna be right from the start. So be ready for that.
You need to be like start spamming heals on like all the soaks and me, basically on pull. Otherwise, we wipe instantly.
Yeah, losing a tank is a wipe. It's not recoverable.
So just to go over it, the hateful strike is going to target the highest health in the top 4 threat, right?
Yeah, I'll be top 1. It's never targets top 1 threat unless there's not enough targets. Like, unless I'm the only one there in melee range, which will only happen if we're wiping or something.
Yeah.
Other than that, it targets the top 4 or top 3 after me and threat. Top 3 melee threat, I'd say. If you're a caster and you're over like the soaking tanks, as long as you're below me, it's fine. If you're a caster only. But if you're a melee, if you go over the soakers, you'll probably end up getting one shot eventually. When shigs get hateful, they're nearly, and they're not full HP yet with the heals. It's gonna look for the next target, which will be, well, maybe we'll try week 1 to have 3 soakers, but that would imply that nobody goes over them in threat, which Fools does put give you some threat on the table, but with full world buffs and everything, you can definitely like go over them in threat.
So what he's referring to is the main, like one of the main mechanics of the boss is hateful strike, and every 1.2 seconds he's going to throw out that on, like we were saying, high health target in the top 4 of threat, and it hits for a shitload.
Is it 24,000 damage?
Yeah, 22 to 24 before mitigation. I think
It's no, it's static. I don't know. It's 22 or 24,000 damage. Pretty sure it's static.
Oh no, there is a range. I don't remember what it is. It's pretty. It's a lot of damage. It doesn't matter. It's a
Yeah,
lot of damage.
it's like between 22 and 24,000 damage. If you don't have a shield on, and all the armor consumes, you're gonna get a one shot. Is basically what it means.
basically expect it to hit Shigs for about 6 to 7k, and expect it to hit Neely for a little bit more than that, unless, well, block. But yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be more RNG based on the warrior. If you avoid it, or if you like block it a bit, but it's gonna be around like 6k, 6.5k damage, full mitigation gear.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, the entire fight is just spam heal. That's it. Definitely do not lack the DPS to kill this boss, so we can afford being threat capped a bit.
That
Isn't there
like
a mechanic where he targets the highest HP too?
Table.
that's what we just said. It's
Yeah.
eightful strike.
Gosh.
Eightful
Alright.
strike targets the highest HP guy
Oh yeah,
in
highest.
melee range in the top three threat target after me. But yeah, it targets the highest HP. So that's why you want to have two or three off tanks that are full mitigation gear, full HP gear to just get hit by those hatefuls every 1.2 seconds. So your job healers is to just we're gonna have like assignments on heals on everything on everyone
Yeah, that
and to
this
top them off as fast as possible.
yeah, this one's not fully fleshed out as far as heal assignments exactly yet, so it's not on there. But yeah, it's just a really heal intensive fight. So plan on using your cooldowns early, using your mana pot as soon as you have, like around as soon as you're short about 2200 mana from max, and using your rune as soon as you reasonably can, etc.
For the
Also,
melee,
do not heal melee that are not tanks. Like
yeah, you never heal any DPS in this fight.
just the warlock.
They're gonna purposely go in the red. You can go in the green goo to remove their. It's gonna remove their max HP.
Trash is linked.
The reason you do that melee at the start of the fight, like you're gonna have to wait at least 5, 6, 8 seconds even just for like a hateful to go on every tank so they like get some initial threat because even if you go on the boss instantly you're gonna get one shot, so you don't do that. You wait like 6 or 8 seconds, a long 6 or 8 seconds even.
So
You
go in
go
with the
soak.
feint. Got it.
Yeah, what?
Go in, hit a feint, and DPS. Got it.
No, even if you
I'm
faint,
kidding,
you might
bro.
get one shot even because like the off tanks, right? They're gonna have shields, like full mitigation gear. They're gonna be do like almost no threat, right? And they need to be in the top four. But the only way they get to top four is to get hit by that mechanic, which adds them on the threat table. Every time you get hit by eight full, it gives like a static threat amount. Uh, so that's how they keep up with the DPS threat. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for deep.
unfortunately, that's going to be a problem a bit for Neely, that he's going to be probably rage starved a lot and not being
Yeah,
hit by hatefuls.
I think it's
think
gonna
it,
be more the third tank that's gonna be pretty starved.
Yeah, I'm
you
assuming
think
it's
it's
going to be
gonna.
Neely. Oh, a third off tank. Okay.
Yeah, third off
Yeah,
tank. Yeah,
yeah. Since they switched, like, what was that, 2 weeks ago? They switched it back to or like 1.2 second. That kind
Yeah.
of changes things a little bit. So,
yeah. You can't really cheese it as much if it's 1.2 seconds.
oh, maybe we can, but we'll see.
We'll have to do
Well,
some testing.
1.2 seconds is dangerously coming into zone of batched healing. So who knows?
Yes.
Yeah, that's scary. But all the rest of classic fucking batch healing, man, at 1.2 seconds, like who knows, you might get batched. And
But just to reiterate, for DPS, it's super tank and spanky, but like do not pull threat, like especially like if there's like a fat ignite or something, like that's really dangerous. Like that's probably a wipe if you run them all the way into the range.
like I said, like as a caster, you can be above the off tanks, but not above me. Otherwise, it's basically a wipe. If you guys anybody pulls aggro, it's a wipe because it's like almost impossible to reposition him. Like melee's gonna get one shot when we go in range and all that. It's gonna be actual eights.
Yeah. And by the way, every week somebody's going to be dying here. And they're going to be blaming
And
on
I'm gonna
lag.
be laughing.
Yeah, they're going to be blaming on lag, and nobody's going to be buying it. Just take your res.
Goes
You
back
can
to
block those with a totem. Totems will absorb the Slimes without destroying themselves.
Uh,
Yeah,
Okay,
but if you
trash is
do that, then we
ridiculous.
can't laugh at people.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, this trash we have to like. You'll have to pull it with hunters, clear all the whole room before we do the boss.
Yeah,
Why did they change the graphic on
yeah, they
those?
look different.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is like one of the
they
easiest
do
bosses.
the mobs that in the room that we actually have to kill is like they do like knockbacks and AoE poison the the A bombs. But yeah,
Ye- Knock up, huh?
yeah.
Basically, if you haven't done it before, every single like trash pack in Naxx is a cancer pack. Have fun.
They spam less, but this boss is pretty simple. By the way, I'm not gonna start there. I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna go left first.
This way.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, we're never gonna run out of room on
yeah.
this boss.
So yeah, yeah, right there. Like, just go more towards the wall. Okay, so my yeah, my initial position is gonna be like this, but I'm gonna be more facing the wall, uh, like my back to the wall. I'm gonna move like on this side. So basically, this boss, like, I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm facing it towards the wall because you saw that spray right there. Whoever it hits, it spawns like a little slime right there, and it like does like nature damage. It's only gonna be hitting me. Otherwise, it's gonna be spawning a. So like if you pull aggro or something and it hits the whole melee squad, it's gonna spawn like 15 slimes, which would be pretty bad. But
That would be a wipe.
Yep.
yeah, shouldn't happen. But yeah, you see the little circles he spawns there every few seconds. What's it called? It's
Oh,
this
it's a
poison
fart.
cloud.
It's a
Poison
fucking
cloud.
fart.
Every 15 seconds, poison cloud like this. And I'm gonna be thinking like right where Newt is standing right now. Just gonna do this. We do DPS and we go around the room like this to avoid the expanding poison clouds on the floor. And it's kind of like a room management kind of fight. Like you don't need the whole room, but basically you want to like free up some real estate on the room with those expanding clouds.
So periodically he does an ability that just oh fuck, what's it called? It's just a little.
It's
It's
mutilated injection or something like that.
Mutating injection every 10 to 15 seconds.
so basically that just needs to be cleansed off of the person. It'll do a bit of a.
Mm,
No, the person needs
no,
to get
Well,
out of the raid
yes,
first.
that's the point I'm trying to get. So it needs to be cleansed out of the raid because it does like AoE damage when it's cleansed.
no, it spawns like a circle. Like,
It does
Yeah.
AoE damage as
yeah.
well.
So like if you get hit by that mutating injection, it's gonna be most likely like a caster or well any DPS me or healers. So if you have that on you, can you go there? Like you'll go to the right side of the room, basically where you were standing at the start.
Yeah, you could just go backwards wherever the cloud
You
is.
go near where a cloud is already expanding on the floor, and you stop moving there, and like a healer is gonna remove the debuff on you, and it's gonna hit you with a little bit of damage, and it's gonna spawn another circle. So you can't be like fucking standing with the if you have the thing on the debuff on you, you can't be standing in the middle of the raid with the casters and just stay there because when it's gonna get removed from you, it's gonna spawn a circle on the in the middle of the raid and like it's gonna uh basically it removes all the space in the room for the casters to stand.
So
So
we're just going to we probably will never need it, but we'll just have two different priests, one for range, one for melee. Make sure to have cure disease, not abolish disease, because if someone gets like hit twice while the tick is still up, it can just auto pump like auto dispel it in the raid. But yeah, your job is like each of those people. Their job is just to whoever gets injected, whether it's a melee or ranged, watch them, wait for them to go to a good spot, like cure them, and then you know back to like probably spamming on the slime tank or beef, either one.
This will call like their name in Discord or something, and you just go to like a safe spot, and they're gonna remove it from you. It's gonna spawn a circle. That's basically it. This boss gonna die pretty fast. It doesn't have a lot of HP. Just like just it's just room management basically. This boss pretty simple.
When do we kill the slime?
when he spawns.
What's slime? Oh yeah, the slime. Yeah, Shig's gonna be tanking the slime. Like he's gonna like tank it next to the boss, so like melee can cleave it.
Yeah, here comes the pro strats. You slow walk, then you go into the pipe boss.
Oh yeah, here we're gonna like prep up a nature pod to walk through this pipe here.
Yeah, and you will be taking nature damage if you're standing right here. So
So this boss basically starts like
Right now, because Nuck is gonna fall off of it.
yeah, this pipe basically once you're in, like you're gonna be like stuck in combat, and as soon as you get to the other side, the boss starts. Like the boss is pulling. So the boss
that
basically
hole?
starts.
Watch out, hole.
Yeah, don't fall down there. That would be bad.
yeah, by the time if you don't have a nature pot, and by the time you are here and drop down, you'll be at about half health.
Like even less
you
than
should
that
only
if you don't have that much HP.
you should only need like a cheap nature pod. It shouldn't even need like a GNPP as far as I'm aware. So really no excuse.
Here we're gonna need like two at least like two mages to kite zombies.
Ooh,
So
more than two.
Yeah.
maybe three. And
I don't know
one
how
in the
many
back.
people have done it in our raid.
Pies and I have done it. Clutch.
I mean, anybody that's good like at like doing AoE pulls is basically the same.
I
You
mean, I
just
suck at it, but I still done it before.
I mean, we have competent mages. We just have to basically just have to AoE like Arcane Explosion and stuff, and like kite them around.
Trilar's been training for this.
Yep, 7 Chilar on these.
Yeah, just need a master booster to deal with these zombies.
Do you think we'll want to put Earthbinds down, or is it overkill?
Yeah, we should.
Yes.
Yeah, so this boss is like it does like the same as Fankris. There's a stacking debuff of healing, like you see, and you highlight the 10% every stack. So like on PTR, most of the guilds I saw, like they actually one tanked it most of the time because it doesn't have a lot of HP and dies pretty fast. So we'll have to see. But week one for sure, Shix just build aggro on it. So like,
Is it tauntable?
no, it's not. It's not tauntable. That's the thing.
Oh,
And it
damn.
does a fear every few seconds.
Every 20 seconds, I think, or 15 in a 20-yard range. So range should be at least 20 yards away from this boss at all times.
Stay max range, yeah. And shaman drop.
Yeah, I seen some people try it on PTR. It didn't work sometimes. The boss would reposition weirdly. I don't know. Maybe with some
Yeah,
practice.
I don't think the Tauren reposition is gonna avoid that. But yeah, just drop tremors, I guess, for the melees. This can you do the mechanic without? I guess it won't do it.
What,
Huh?
the decimate?
Yeah.
No, I won't do it for some reason.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll kill it now. So because it's annoying to have him here. But it's vital to understand that like mages are basically carrying this fight. The rest of it is pretty much a joke. But we can't let the zombies get to the boss because it'll heal
I just
for
wanted to make it
5%
more
each one.
difficult.
Yep. So like basically, most of the healers are just going to be focused on the tanks and watching for tank swaps,
And other healers for the
keeping them top.
mages.
And then yeah, there's going to be a couple of us who are back with the mages, just putting out shields, renews or a little bits of flash heal here and there to keep them alive, keep them able to kite.
Are
So
the zombies that go to the boss shackleable?
I don't think so. We could
Copy.
try it, but I don't think they're.
this
It's
basically what happens is we we attack them and kite them the whole time. The reason why is every zombie that gets to the boss heals him for 5%. So, and at some points after, like, I don't know the timing here on this scripting, but at some point the whole raid's gonna get decimated, which is gonna put every raid member at 5% HP, even the tanks. So that's when you guys are gonna need to like top off the tank instantly. And everybody else in the raid, all the zombies are gonna go straight towards the boss. That's when we need to do big AoE and like everybody swap to the zombies that we've been kiting around so they don't heal up the boss.
Yep.
Yeah,
That mechanic can be avoided if we have world buffs, but we probably won't have world buffs at that.
do keep in mind that when he does the decimate and puts you to 5% health, if you sap her, you might kill yourself. I don't know. So
Yeah,
just
no,
use normal abilities.
you can use Stratum Holy Water. Basically does the same damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for heals, it's going to be really vital though that whoever's on tank heals stay on tank heals, and the people assigned for raid heals can just do that because for the most part, DPS can take some time to be healed up.
Also, I guess we can have Neely in the back helping for like if there's like zombies like running around, you can pick up a few as well.
So
Yeah. You can maybe get away with one hit if you're a mage, but yeah, you're gonna die pretty soon if you have those stacks up.
Are we gonna use hunter traps?
No, we'll be kind of busy tranking the
Tranking.
boss on cooldown, and also our
Okay.
feign death fucking resists a lot, so it's kind of
it's
unreliable.
if a trank gets like
It's
missed, they're
Earthbind
really worse
basically.
if they're like
Earthbind's
back
pretty
in
good.
Well, if they're earthbound, they can't use tremor.
Right, we're only going to assign like 2 shaman on Earthbound.
Yep.
Yeah, the zombies spawn directly on those like grills or cage, I guess.
Also, Buki, do you want to have like an NS rotation for like post decimate? I mean, I can't imagine we're gonna eat a bunch of decimates.
Kill it, woo!
Only one decimate.
Yeah, we could set something up.
It's gonna be dead. If it's probably gonna be no decimate or one, that's gonna be the thing. All right, Stalag and Fugen.
Yeah, so these motherfuckers hurt a lot.
Oh yeah, they can like when they get their fucking buff, they can global a tank.
Stalag does the speed, yeah, buff.
200 attack speed buff or whatever.
10
It's
seconds.
like a fucking crazy.
Yeah, the biggest problem with them is when they're doing the tank swap, which they'll pull the person tanking the other guy on the other side to them. While that is happening, when the tanks are flying from platform to platform, they will turn to the highest aggro person. So if on this side, on that side over there, it's gonna be mostly melee. These guys are tauntable, but if the tank is flying, this guy's gonna turn to a melee and maybe one shot him. So might want to have a tank on each side to taunt during the swap, just to make it safe. I don't know.
I think The right side is fine because we have a lot of melee, but the left side probably could have nearly there because it's gonna turn on the caster and they're gonna get one shot.
Yeah, casters are gonna be mostly here where I'm standing right now.
Well, they have to be.
Oh
all
shit!
there.
Oh, I thought I pulled.
What's up?
Praxis, can you?
Hello.
Hello.
Goddamn praxis.
Alright. The all the casters are gonna be on the left side, so because the other side does a mana burn, so that's why only the healers assigned on that side will be there. Yeah, all the warlocks, all the mages are gonna be in this side, and they need to die at the same time as well. So melee probably gonna have to stop DPS for a while, and like let them catch up, so we can kill both of them like within 5 seconds.
Now, also do keep in mind that they do a small knockback, and to demonstrate, if you're standing like here,
He can
and
get knocked down.
yeah, if this guy's here, he won't be, but to demonstrate, you'll get knocked immediately into the sludge.
When I'm tanking it, I'll be facing it to the wall basically. So
Yeah, well, basically where they're standing, and the rest is gonna be here on both sides for the casters.
yeah, I was looking at the PTR footage when the tank swap happens, when we get thrown in the air, me and Shigs. It does like on private it would stop attacking, but here it turns like on the top aggro guys.
Yeah, that
Be
is really
careful.
annoying.
One thing we will be able to do is when you ride at the tank switch, you can throw up a shield on the tank before he starts flying, and then get ready to start pre-casting on the incoming tank, while other healers take care of what other needs are on the side. So they'll just be like assignment for that.
Because we take fall damage when we get thrown on the other side.
So
Oh yeah, we get it's an instant wipe, so we can't like and yeah, it's gonna wipe the whole raid. It's like a kind of like a cartoon beam, kinda. It just chains on everyone and kills everyone. Oh
So
yeah,
you
you didn't emphasize the jump there.
The jump.
Dude.
Yeah, the jump. Yeah, if you
No.
miss it, you're a fucking noob.
don't suck.
Well, GG.
If you like walk down, like if you don't jump, you'll fall down. So jump. Like if you're not confident in your abilities, like get like a noggin fogger with slow fall or something. But
So if you fall into that slime down there, you're gonna be at what 10% HP. So when you come back up, run all the way back up to the fight,
you'll
you want to be
probably
careful,
die.
right? Yeah. You need to be careful when you come back in.
Like when you come back in, also you'll have like
The debuff. That's
the
big
debuff. Yeah, and if you go on the wrong side, then you're gonna wipe the raid. So
What is that debuff?
Polarity shift. You gotta charge negative
Plus
and
and
positive.
negative.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like in the initial pull, can you go like to your right, like against the wall? I'm gonna be standing.
Right here.
Yeah. So before he starts casting, like at the very start when we after the jump, there's gonna be like an interval of like 10 seconds. I'm gonna start building threat like this before we get the first debuff. Everybody else gonna be behind the boss.
Yeah, to avoid
In
parry
a
haste.
stack. In a stack, yeah. So I'm gonna be starting to build threat, and then he's gonna do like this casting animation, and then you'll get your first debuff. You see it at the top. So right now, he has a negative charge. If you're negative, you'll go left. You'll be standing on the left side.
Oh, we're switching. Okay. Okay.
Positive. We always do like positive left and
We'll just pick one. It doesn't matter.
no
Really.
negative left and positive right. So
I know
like
what
if
you're
you
talking
have
about, like left facing the slime or left facing the wall.
he's right like so.
So he's Newt's in the correct spot right now for next.
Yeah, so like maybe half the raid's gonna have positive and
Yeah, for some
Around
reason
it's
he won't
around
change
like
my charge.
it's
By the way,
yeah, it's around 20-20 most of the time, like the split. Like
Yeah.
20 raiders gonna have like negative and 20 raiders gonna have positive. So like once you get the debuff, boom, if you have negative, you go left. And every it's what 10 seconds, I think.
no, it's like 20.
20 seconds, okay. Every 20 seconds, gonna cast it again. You can get the same one. If that's the case, you stay there. If not, if you get positive, if you were negative, you get positive. You walk uh, counterclockwise around the boss or through it.
You can just run through it.
And I saw some instances with batching that walking through it would do the damage tick. So you just like walk around a little bit of his like hitbox circle. You just do that circle to the other side like this here. And if you're positive, so this yeah, you do like this, yeah.
You constantly go to the right.
Yeah, it's really easy, but if one guy is in the wrong spot, it does damage to everyone around him and can wipe the raid. So like if
Well, he'll
somebody
die instantly too.
so like
2000.
And
2,000 to like 20 people's.
And furthermore, that deprives damage of the extra DPS which is needed for this. How much health does Thaddeus have?
Like 5.8 million or something.
Yeah, so basically
No,
without
6.6. Sorry.
without this mechanic, it's like it's a retarded amount of health.
So
you
when
need people
everybody's alive, you'll have like an insane fucking damage buff and you'll be hitting like crazy.
I want to say it's plus 10% per stack, and
It is.
so you'll have about like 20 stacks if everyone's alive. So
19. Because
Or
it doesn't
19,
How
count.
hard
yeah,
does
yeah.
he hit?
He hits less than the 2 mobs that we were encountered previously.
The
Okay.
chain
Yeah,
lightning
chain
constant.
lightning it is a lot of damage in this fight. by
I'll
the way.
be dual wielding on this guy because I need to keep like a really high threat, but like I'll have like an armor pot on cooldown. But you guys will be busy like topping off everyone because it does a lot of fucking nature damage to the whole raid. But yeah, this is one of the fights you want to definitely pop a nature pot. But
DPS
other than
nature
this,
pot, mana pots for healers.
it's just like a super DPS fight.
Oh, by the way, keep one thing in mind. Because you have this damage buff, if you use a dark rune, it can hit you for 3k damage.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
always
yeah.
fun. You use it while you're rotating, so you kind of have to wait for that, or you can suck it up and use like a Night Dragon's Breath and only get minimum mana. But yeah,
Life tap as well can hit you fucking hard.
I think it's the same as the Wrath version. You keep the debuff even after the boss dies until it wears off, right? Or does it go
Yeah.
away?
So
Yeah, you
once
keep- When you
once the
when
boss
he dies,
dies,
you don't loot.
everybody steps away from the boss, and like all the guys that are positives will spread out on the right side and positive and negative on the left side.
Well,
Just
the
spread out.
range is pretty big, so the negative side could use some space on this side. If you have positive and you have a pretty long debuff timer, you can just go in here and spread like in this room.
Yeah, you can get out if you have positive. It's
So
just like everybody loots at the end, like everybody's gonna get one shot.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
to explain to explain the mechanic, what would happen if you have like people around you and you lose the debuff, they're all gonna be doing damage to you if they still have the debuff. So you're just gonna get insta killed.
2k damage per
Yeah.
per debuff. So it's like 5 guys around you, you can get one shot.
so everyone go hug print.
Oh,
Roger.
So does the tank stay in the same position for that fight?
No, if I get the debuff, I go around. I move as well. So
Yeah, but the boss is tauntable, by the way.
what? It is?
Yeah, it is.
Wait, really?
Yeah, one of the
Um,
few in Naxx. For some reason, I don't know why.
That's a bug because this definitely
No,
wasn't.
it was always tauntable.
The fuck? Okay. Doesn't make sense, but whatever.
Yeah, I looked
Arch.
it up. It was weird, but yeah,
That doesn't mean you're free to over aggro.
of course.
Poggers in the chat.
I should have good aggro, but we'll see.
Pop wreck, immediately get chain lightning 3 times. Hello?
So does life tap also get the buff to damage?
Yeah, everything like you get like a what if you have all the stacks, it's 190% damage increase.
Yeah.
It's so with full wall buffs, you can hit like those 9k blood thirst and all that shit. 12k execute, big dam.
Oh gosh.
All I'm aiming is healing purses.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of healing. Oh, those gargoyles are the one that are fucking cancer.
Are they going to be like the Fire Lords and MC where we just have too much DPS so they don't matter?
No, they don't.
Even
No,
with the
the only thing
PTR,
that
bro.
matters is the debuff. You just have to wait it out to drop.
The big thing that matters is not pulling more than 2 at the same time. Otherwise,
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
that's
wipe.
a wipe. Yeah, that's a wipe.
You can start eating after you kill the gargoyle and have the debuff still, and it won't be interrupted. To help healers out.
All right, enough.
Okay, so on this boss, I'm kind of partial to this strat we used a long time ago, where the raid goes, hugs here, waits for him to pat away, and the range. Oh, did you use this one? Yeah, okay. Because I know a lot of boomer strats where they just stay over there for some reason. It makes no sense at all. Because the ads will
Yeah,
just come to the melee here. It's like the easiest thing.
I would always tank it in this corner, and then you have the northwest corner there, northeast and southwest for the ads.
Yeah, they'll all just come through here, like through melee, and get cleaved down. They have like 20
So
something
like you
K
see
health.
the pattern on the floor. So there's basically like an off tank in each corner of the pattern, opposite of where I'm tanking.
Well,
There's like skeletons that spawns every corner every few seconds, and you want to tank them, and they do like some cleaves and shit. Bring them close so we can AoE them.
yeah, they cleave for 1.2K and they have 26K health, so it's nothing. All the ads in this fight are a joke. The only thing that matters in this fight are the decurses and dispels. And I say when it matters, I mean this is like you
It's a
drop
wipe
whatever you're
mechanic.
doing.
It's a
If
wipe
you're
mechanic.
like at 99% cast of your fireball, you drop it and you start decursing. It's gonna go on 20 people. In melee, you have 9 seconds to decurse them all. You cannot miss a single one, or it's potentially a wipe instantly.
Mages cannot rely on just mage decursing, or we all die.
No, every when we call for the decurse, every mage switch to decurse for a few seconds until all the curse are gone.
I'm sorry, it's an old habit. I also play other games where I move a lot.
It's like the curse is an AoE shadow damage. It's gonna wipe the raid basically. So
There will be a priest on each tank. Like your job, besides just healing them, is just to be the first one to dispel their slow, and then unassigned priest can just hit the raid.
So yeah, so phase 1, I'm gonna be tanking the boss right there where the mark is in this corner. Every other tank's gonna be in the corner of this square on the floor, picking
Wait,
up the ads.
why? Why don't we just let them come to us?
Yeah, but they're gonna be. I mean, they're gonna be taking care of. Yeah, they're gonna be intercepting the ads from those corners. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like every warrior is gonna have like a corner assigned to them. Basically, is what I mean. And yeah, after 30 seconds, he's gonna do like a blink. He randomly blinks like in that square somewhere, and he drops full aggro. So before the blink, you normally you drop ignite. Otherwise, it's gonna be he's not tunnable. So it's gonna be impossible for me to pick it back up before you die with ignite or any dot basically.
Yeah, get your lips ready.
When the teleports, yeah, it's gonna cripple every melee around me around. So you're gonna remove the healers remove cripple on me, and I'll go pick up the boss again, build some threat, reposition, start DPSing again.
Yeah, and the dispels are really important because we're so melee heavy, and what it does is slows the attacks and movement speed by 50% and strength by 50%. It's pretty huge.
Yeah, you have to remove that basically after every blink.
Yep.
What's the
We
balcony phase?
the balcony phase is if we don't kill him fast enough, he's gonna go on the balcony. Can you like wait it out for him to do it?
I can't.
It's
I
like
mean that phase is such a joke. All the ads are like completely
yeah,
CCable and have no health.
I just want to show it.
Yeah,
All right, so you see here the ads are spawning in each corner of
yeah,
that
they're spawning on
square.
these bone piles over there.
So yeah, each you saw the blink there. That's the blink. So can you over the cripple debuff?
This one is a bit different, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty similar except less strength. It's movement speed and movement slow, so it's really important to remove it from the melee. Tanks first, so I can pick up the boss. So yeah, he doesn't have a lot of HP. So like, if we have 4 world buffs, we'll kill it before the second phase. But yeah,
It's like 2.2 million or something.
that's more than 45.
Oh man, who knows?
It's like 2
it's
minutes or
forever.
something.
Like
It's
back in the day, the strat was to go 3 phases for the. Oh, there he is. He's on the balcony now.
Okay, so when he's in the balcony, it's the same thing. Like, can kill those ads, but it's gonna be different ads. Gonna be spawning in each corner. A little bit stronger ads, and it's gonna spawn. Yeah, it's gonna be spawning like 2 at a time in each corner. So we're just gonna split up like groups a little bit for DPS and just kill them one by one. Yeah.
But yeah, they're all stunnable and have 0 health, so it should be fine.
Yeah, it's just trash. It's pretty simple.
The next boss is the hard one.
Oh,
We're gonna be
no.
dancing. We're dancing.
Can the caster still attack him while he's on the
Lagging,
balcony?
I cannot.
Okay.
No, you can't TPS him. He's not targetable, I think.
Yeah.
When he comes back, he has like that threat wipe again. Same thing. This boss is pretty simple though. This gauntlet is easy also in PTR, but the so just like I'm gonna kill everything on the way. Just those plague beasts right there. You see it? There's a lot of like I think 1.5k tick nature damage around them. So like a tank's gonna pick them up and tank them outside this stack of people going through. Pretty simple. The bats charge at you. Just melee, pick them up, cleave them down, and we're gonna follow this wall where Newt is standing right now.
Yeah, this is like
When we get here, we're gonna like heal up everyone, and then we're gonna go left across. The boss gonna pull, but he's gonna reset at the doorway. So just go across. You're gonna kill this plague beast and stack here. Like when we go across, it's gonna pull the boss, but don't be scared. He's gonna like when he reach the skull thing right there, it's gonna reset. And once we've healed up everyone and buffed everyone and everyone's ready, I go in the room.
just don't fall behind in that room. Stay with the group. Like
All the casters go on the platform, and melee stay with me and the boss.
Yeah, let me put down some markers.
Yeah, looks good. Okay, so this is the path I'm gonna take, right? This one. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna be tanking when I stop on each spot. It would make it so much easier if we had those markers.
Yeah. Yeah. So these. Okay.
By the
I'll
way,
wait.
the fight's gonna start instantly once we go around there, so there's not gonna be like
I'm gonna pull him just to.
yeah.
We can
So
talk during the mechanics.
yeah, the healers and casters are gonna go on the platform.
He
The
does a
reason
mana burn.
yeah, the
So
reason why you don't go near him or we don't tank him on the platform is he does a mana burn. Yeah. And it does like it does damage, AoE damage if you're on the platform when he is there.
yeah, and he also spams it like every 6 seconds. If beef is too close, it's your job to move a bit back.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be trying to stay like where Newt is standing right now, like kind of far away. Yeah, I won't be that close to the wall. I'll be a bit closer.
It's
platform.
yeah. So I mean, heal range is 40 yards, and that's fine. But it's for the disease, which needs to be cured right away. Totems or abolish is fine for priests, but that's when you start straddling the line of getting hit by that mana burn.
The disease, by the way, is it removes 50% of your HP stamina, so it needs to be removed on me instantly. And when it's get removed, like I lose 50% of my HP. So if we're gonna wipe, that's gonna be the reason why.
Yeah,
Is
this
that
boss
disease.
hurts.
He hits hard, and if I have the disease on, I can die basically.
Yeah, so we do a full turn here,
You
and
do
then this is one more step here, and then you go back to the.
yeah,
this
we
is-
did. We kind of didn't explain it, so we'll have to do it one more time.
Yeah, we'll do it again. But for dancing, I would suggest looking at the platform and strafing, and these are the spots like that I always use, which are these
Yeah.
cracks on the
Yeah.
ground. And it's the easiest thing in the world once you figure it out. I would advise against like running this way because you lose the perspective of your movement much more than when you're moving like this.
Yep.
And
When
basically, yeah, this is basically the entire thing.
I would suggest doing a little strafe walk or something in there, just so you don't get like batched, like so another movement is registered. But
that's what he's doing right now.
yeah, no, just saying.
Yeah, the dance is gonna be a bit longer on the. It's gonna be like
Okay, let's say
three more.
now's the start of the fight. So at the start, like you guys are gonna be DPSing here with me. Once the where you go?
No, it's just this positioning. His hitbox is huge.
Yeah. So like you see every few seconds it explodes where we were. It's always the same pattern. So like now you move to the next zone. It's you have to do this twice before we start the dancing thing. All the casters gonna be on the platform right there DPSing. Every melee you follow me, and we DPS the boss going around the room like this twice.
Yeah, melee, make sure to fucking stick to this boss like glue. Do not lag behind him too much.
Yeah, if you lag behind and you get hit by the floor thing, you're gonna get one shot basically.
Is that how you parse?
You can survive it if you have a nature pot and full world boss or like a titans, but don't count on it. It hits for like 8k or something.
Will you be
Yeah.
tanking him on the other side?
Yeah, sometimes you can be like I got hit sometimes. Like when I have 10k HP, you can survive it, but it's like basically you're
Just for
dead.
like 4K, 4 and 5K. I don't know, something like that on PTO.
Yeah, but sometimes you get hit double. From
You
like
also might
two
have the
spots.
disease.
Why isn't
You
this guy clean?
I don't know, man. Did you see right there? Once we've done the room twice, you have to go where X is once, and then he's gonna start the dance. Then all the melees, all the casters and healers join us on the skull mark to start the dance, like he's doing right now.
Yeah, you can't stand on the platform anymore.
Yep. If you stand on the platform, you die. Oh, we forgot to tell we to talk about the teleport on the other
Oh,
room.
you can do it after I kill him.
Yeah.
This is dancing? What kind of fucking dancing is this?
It's strafe dancing, dude.
Okay, there you go.
You have to go like twice around the room, and yeah, after that casters go back on the platform and we repeat, but
If you're
you
too
should
close to
die.
the platform during the dance, do you take AoE damage still?
Yeah, you have to be on it to take the AoE, I think. Like you, if you're standing where he puts his mark, you should be fine.
Yeah, even if you stand here, you'll probably get damaged. So just yeah. There used to
Will you
be
be
like
taking?
a bug, but that you can cheese it, but that's fixed.
Thinking what?
Will you be taking him? Like you'll be in
Where
between him and us.
I'll be taking where the marks are, the circle.
What I'm saying is,
triangle.
will you be closer to the raid, the healers? Like he'll be like on the other side.
In between the boss and the healers.
Yeah.
It can be like this, like they'll just be dragging it this way.
Oh, because of the range of the
the mana burn. Yeah, that's why I'm far away.
Yeah, the boss can stand here, but I guess beef beef can spin around here to be closer to the healer. I don't know.
So do you think he eats bats?
Sometimes it's hard to spinning them around because of like the torrent reposition and all that
Yeah.
shit. And also like I don't want to be late to the next transition, so like I can't have 100% perfect placement.
A big thing for healers is just when we transition to when he goes to the platform, is anticipating that so you don't get hit by like in that needless like 2 mana burns or something.
They have 500.
You can kill them, but
yeah. And he dance.
If you're melee, like you might want to wait like until it's coming back. I don't know, or be intelligent about it, or go on the platform. And yeah, and then join with the melee again.
Yeah, so you'll have hopefully we don't have 3 melees doing this at the same time because this fucking mind play is horrible.
Yeah, that's the cancer right here.
And these maggots can actually hurt, but their aggro range is small and the leash is small, so this shouldn't be a problem as long as the mind flay is sorted.
The maggots can go in the raid too. You go into the room, don't handle
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
turn
you
back.
might. No, I saw in PTR they were like growing in the room. I don't know if it's a bug or something, but they didn't
that's
turn
weird.
back. Yeah, they didn't turn back, so might want to kill them before going back in the room. If you have a bunch.
I suggest healers have a cheap shadow protection pot hop there, just because we can't one shot those little mind flay eyes. Well, if we crit, but yeah.
So essentially that video you posted is everything that's in here anyway, right?
The what?
Or that one VOD review?
I don't remember.
Really
I think some strats are different. Some are a bit boomer. So yeah, they should be a bit different. And keep in mind that once we clear this once, we're gonna start optimizing more, so strats are gonna change and so on.
It's more or less to just not spend 5 hours explaining raid night. Did you see on PTR if the spore always spawn at the same place once
Yes,
it's
if
spawned once?
you keep the boss where Skull is, it'll always spawn in this area here, where the diamond is.
They tested it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, sounds good.
So it will always spawn in this area, and if you're in this area, it might not always spawn on this place right here. Sometimes it might spawn right here or right here, but it won't go in any other corner of the room. Oh no. Yeah, if you change the boss like to over the right side, they'll start spawning on the left side. It's proximity based. to the boss.
So burn, sprint, turn around, grab the spore, go back. Okay, gotcha.
That sounds easy until you have two kinds of people where a person goes here first, pops the spore for themselves, and fucking fucks everybody over.
There's
Or
a
you have a
rotation in the
melee.
spreadsheet.
Yeah, have a melee that wants to have one more auto attack in and lags the entire group when he should be moving here and fucking the group over. So there's stuff like that. There's gonna be callouts for consumable usage. If you're melee, you're gonna be taking AOE ticks from his poison aura, and if there's a call to bandage, you'll have to step away from the boss, have your poison cleansed, and then you can bandage.
It's all time, so you can't. You will just call when the user consumes. This boss, you have to pre-pop a shadow, and at 2 minutes 10 to the fight, there's gonna be that first AOE curse doom or whatever it's called. That's gonna do. That's gonna hit a whole raid. It's kind of like Lucifron, I'd say, right, where it hits all the whole raid, but you can't avoid it. So everybody gets gonna hit it by a lot of shadow damage, and that's when you pop another shadow pot. And then at 3 minutes 10 seconds is when you bandage for the first time. After the third doom, you'll be pretty low HP. So like Newt said, if you're melee, you step away from the boss, you don't get hit by the poison tick, and you fully bandage. And then at 3 minutes 40 seconds, that's where it starts like doing more damage and stuff. You can be pretty low. You'll have either a Hellstone, Root Tuber to pop there, and at four, yeah, you can like swap to D stance to get less to get hit by 20% less damage, which is pretty good.
I'm guessing mage is gonna be the group one, right? So mages can start the fight at this corner here to grab it quickly and just move to the marker. After that, do not stand over there.
Yeah, so basically they can have 100% crit and roll and ignite. So what the boss does is you have a shit ton of crit and you deal no threat. Yeah.
But do keep in mind that mana might be a problem on this fight, so you cannot just spam your highest damage abilities all the time.
Yeah, I think what I had it is, I guess I'll swap it on the spreadsheet, but if the casters start there to get the first spore, but I had a melee group go first, but I'll swap it. Yeah, because we have to make sure to know where it spawns as well. So like melee can see where it spawns and then go for the second one. But yeah, those are going to be a rotation in the spreadsheet. There's always going to be like a group, like a specific group number plus an additional person, because the shaman is not going to get the buff. So
yeah, and shamans should always keep down poison cleansing totem.
This is the fight where you can only heal every minute.
Yep, that's the main mechanic. If anyone's missing this, as soon as you put out a heal or beneficial spell, then you get a debuff where you can't cast another one for a minute. So healers there's a rotation in there. Priests are all going to be using tier 2 to get maximum benefit out of that free renew. And you're just casting your max rank healing wave or healing touch.
Greatest healing thing on me.
Ability. Nobody's getting heals outside of beef. So
I'm gonna be full mitigation on this fight. So like at the start, before you get the spore debuff, melees don't over aggro. It's not tunnable. If you over aggro, it's pretty much a wipe.
Are you using a flask set?
What's up? What was that, Wes?
You have even a DPN set?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, flash set would be good here, no?
Yeah, but it only lasts a minute. So like the fight's gonna last maybe like 4 minutes, maybe 3.5.
Priest, how are you gonna figure out who's healing?
I think we're just gonna have to use that weak aura. That's probably the best if yeah. Unless someone like updated the Snago Loa for classic.
Does it work, the weak aura? Maybe test it before raid.
I have no clue. I mean, really, the worst comes to worst is we just set up whisper macros until somebody else does the hard work and actually like fucking put something out.
So
one thing-
again, for melee, then ultimately is just popping the fucking shadow pot, so you don't take a bunch of
Yeah,
that
so
damage.
every DPS, you're never gonna receive any heals except for your own consumables. So
Actually,
that's
rogues, since you don't have bloodthirst, you might want to pop a nature pot as well for this fight for the poison aura that he does.
It's a good one for full tier 2 too.
you can like we for progression we can pre-pop a nature and a shadow for this guy. Just wait 2 minutes.
Yeah, strictly for progression.
Yeah, just for progression. We won't need that in the future, but just for progression we could do it. Especially like warriors, I know you guys are gonna charge the like try to like intercept the spore. If you do that, you're gonna you're gonna kill it before the other guys. Yeah, keep your intercept to come back to the boss instead.
Yeah, and I
The,
guess
the spore only gives the buff to 5 people at a time, so it's really important when your assigned group goes, you guys stack, kill the spore, go back to the boss, and then you're good to DPS. So pretty crazy.
Beef,
Fall
would
into
you
the
ever
wall.
get the debuff or buff?
No,
No.
because I'm building threat. It's so like
Oh, there's no threat. Okay, yeah, no threat trend.
yeah.
That makes sense. I was like, how the fuck are you gonna hold aggro?
yeah, another detail for healers. I mean, I'm no healer, but like from what I've observed, sometimes it can happen that this boss, I mean, Beef is gonna be on a parry dodge streak and he's not gonna be taking any damage. But if you delay your heal in a rotation too long, a minute from now, when it's your turn to heal again, your heal will not be up. That can mess up the rotation. Just keep that in mind. It's gonna be very rare, but it can
Yeah,
happen.
it can create bottlenecks, but at the same time, for the most part, like the longer you can wait is you typically the better. Like
Yeah, I'm just going egregiously, like waiting for a heal. Like if there's just a streak of parry dodges.
Would you just throw on a hot at that point and say fuck it?
I wouldn't.
No, it's better to wait and do your highest heals all the time.
Because the hot will also put the cooldown on.
Yeah, it's not like the most effective of your minute. Like doing a hot is not really effective.
I mean, what is there? I don't see any downside to waiting as long as you can, besides potentially dropping.
No, because it delays the whole file as long as everybody else waits.
It lets the cooldown tick on everybody else. So you're like
Everyone else who has already done it. So like it can, when you go back around rotation, it can cause like a little bit of compression issues, but it's like for the most part, it's usually not a big deal. Like
Yeah, I have cooldowns for that.
If you wait longer, for the most part, it really just kind of makes sense. It would have to be like Newt said, like super egregious. Like if you're sitting there for 20 seconds and Beef is just on some like god like spree of mitigation, then maybe just pop a heal and
Yeah, got RNG like I have.
but I mean for the most part there's 11 of us. The debuff lasts a minute, so just quick math, that's like a heal every 5 seconds, and we shouldn't even need a heal every 5 seconds, quite frankly. We'll see.
What if the person in front of you lags out? Do you just wait the 5 seconds, and if you don't receive a whisper or notification, just throw out a heal anyway?
Yeah, I think the weak aura is gonna take that into consideration, but yeah, eventually. But yeah, you delay. Like if the guy in front of you delayed, then you delay too, right? That's the
Yeah, basically. I mean, unless they like disconnected. Like if you have to jump something because the tank's about to die, then please by all means do so. Because if Beef dies, it's a wipe.
but only the next person in line can jump the gun like that, because if someone else does, it gets everything all mixed up.
Yeah, after that
Gen-
it's fucked.
Generally speaking, like if we have like world buffs and stuff by then, like you can start casting when tanks at like 85%, and then just kind of cancel cast as need be until
You guys are
until it's at
DPSing, right? On
spot.
private, on the healers.
Oh yeah. Just as
Yeah,
long as you
just
have,
DPS.
you just need to leave
Keep, I mean, keep
mana
a
for one
decent mana
heal.
pool, but yeah.
No, you just need mana for one heal when it's your turn. Like, do not screw that up. But other than that, yeah, you can just DPS.
Yep.
So everybody should remember this ramp right here. If the boss is looking like he's gonna wipe us, you can run to this platform over there and heal reset. Because this boss can go from super easy to complete chaos in seconds.
Oh yeah, this boss is. It's gonna be hard to explain here, I guess. Yeah, without a priest.
It's fun.
This is basically trees doing their job.
We used to use the other corner, right? We're gonna use
No.
that one too.
No, we use this corner. Like
one?
it technically it doesn't really matter, but it's a little bit easier this one because you can wait till he passes the passes one
Oh,
group,
yeah.
start your mind control, and pick him up really easily.
That's where you mind control the right guy. All right, so this the start when priest mind controls. Let's say like moon, yeah, like this. So I'll go on skull. She's gonna go on X. Nearly on square. We just tank these apart from the boss. Do like basically no damage on them. Swear shield tank them away. Yeah, we're gonna wear full mitigation here as a tank, by the way. Yeah, don't sunder.
Yeah, just to quickly explain just positioning general for everybody. This star here, it's going to be mostly range DPS plus a couple of healers, which I'll in a moment why. This diamond is going to be mostly just healers. The mind controller is going to be here. The tanking mind control mob is going to be here. Ross is going to be here. Male is going to be behind it.
The reason you LOS him is because every few seconds he shouts, which does does like damage to
it one shots you.
Mana users.
Yeah, so the ads are going to be off tanked here. He does a maximum up to 4,000 mana drain, and then doubles that in health. So it one shots casters. So what you do when he does this, he'll do it 20 seconds into the fight, and then every 25 seconds, when he's about to do it, you go here. You LOS it, he shouts, you go back. If the boss is kept here the entire time, healers that are here do not have to do anything. You just stay here and heal your
Unless the
mob.
be careful if the boss moves and
yeah, if he moves,
LOS
you have to LOS. But the reason why I said a couple of healers should be here in Strange event where the boss gets a lot of out of position, Beast might have to shield wall and position here. And while he's here, he cannot be healed by the diamond healers. So you'll have to have a couple of healers here, heal Beef.
Yeah, like if one of the tank have to do that, we're basically gonna die most of the time. Like 100%. He hits for thousands. The boss he one shots people. So
yeah,
that's
his
unmitigated
unmitigated damage is 30k, I think.
Yeah, it's like harder than patchwork. So the whole mechanic of the fight is like priests gonna and the boss gonna be standing there at moon, and they're gonna be alternating the ads by mind controlling them, and the ads have a taunt and a shield wall and Eric strike, and basically they mind control him. They taunt the boss and position him where X is, and once the shield wall is done on that mob, they're gonna mind control the next target that me, Shigs, or Neely's gonna be tanking. And then when they mind control that one, he's gonna go on that X spot and taunt the boss. And then the other mind controller is gonna drop the other one. And then at that point, the tank that just got freed up by getting their mob mind control is gonna pick up the other one and keep it alive for the next rotation.
So basically, the idea here, Devast, is that we're doing the mind controls. We just need to have a was it like 2-3 hit? Because if it does get resisted, it should still count, and basically the each of those mobs will have a minute long debuff where they cannot be mind controlled again. So sometimes shit just happens. But
And the
anyhow,
shield wall lasts 20 seconds on each.
what you're gonna want to do is I'll have a macro that I'll post in Priest channel to just automatically like target Resuvius and cast taunt shield wall, so you don't have to worry about much. Just press a button, pretty easy. But I'm gonna start it off, and you're gonna want to mind control like the next closest ad. Like in this case, that'd be the skull.
Well, it's gonna be
Right away.
like we're gonna be tanking them like where square is.
Well, no, he wants to mind control that right away in case of like a resist on pull or some snafu, which can happen. Like
Well,
heartbeat resist happen.
actually, what you can do is when this guy's mind soothed and when he gets mind controlled, these guys will not pull if the boss is on the other side. Not, they will only start pulling when you like walk into here, and then you can drag them over here. But you
I
cannot do
wouldn't.
the
I
fast
wouldn't
further than
dub.
this.
I don't think I would double mind control because it can fuck up the pool as well if they get the both mind exhaustions. For the fuck.
I mean,
Debuff is.
that's the way me and Voxus did it every single time on private server. So
The, yeah, the mind controls on PTR were very inconsistent. Sometimes would not nothing would happen. Sometimes they would just drop after 5 seconds.
yeah, the heartbeat resist is the real pain in the ass. So that's where you have to improv a little bit. But that goes back to like I will maybe we can have like a little I'll just say something in Discord with like 5 seconds till shield wall ends or something on my mob, so you can start getting the next mob ready. You don't want to outside of like possibly the initial pull to make sure positioning is right. You don't want to have two mobs mind controlled at the same time, just because that's more time that heartbeat resist could happen.
Yeah, you do it like 5 seconds before, like you just said, and you walk your mob on the X spot right there and taunt it.
So the mind control rotation is based off of the shield wall cooldown?
Yes, because even these ads without their shield wall will still get chunked down pretty fast by Resuvius.
Yes, especially if he hits them with the unbalancing strike, which increases damage by 350%.
Also, I'm pretty sure they have like a auto attack buff, like a heroic strike you can spam when you mind control them. Just check their bar and you see it.
Yeah, as far as healers go, you'll be healing these guys, and when hopefully this can happen when the tank transition happens, the old one shouldn't be dropped immediately because it needs to be healed up if it's way too low on health. Because if you grab it again, it'll just die instantly if it's low health.
Well, also because you need that to like get the debuff timer going as soon as possible. Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't it doesn't start going until you drop your mind control.
Yeah.
Or in the case like it's resisted right away, it counts it right away. But yeah.
All right, for DPS, the scary part here is so like if they get a resist or something, it might swap to the highest like threat target, which is going to be like most likely a warrior or something. You will get one shot if you don't shield wall. Just FYI. You most of the time you won't even have time to react. It's gonna turn on you and one shot you. But if we don't get unlucky and there's no resist, I should be able to like do the taunt rotation on the ads without dying. But
yeah, if there's no resist, sometimes we have like a small window where it's like you just need a shield wall for like 5 seconds, and
they can lip too. They can lip and survive, but it's pretty hard sometimes.
And wait, the melee when they're DPSing, you're saying that there's an AoE damage that goes out?
No, the AoE damage only goes to mana users. So so you guys are gonna be DPSing the whole time, basically. Just be careful sometimes on the transition between the understudies tanking it. That's the only dangerous part.
Okay.
Yeah. So
like
the boss
so, keep just 1 second. Just keep an eye. Like if you're in top threat, basically on the table, just be ready to lip if there's ever like a resist or like a MC drop or something. So
okay, sounds good.
Can you drag him in a position, Newt, to kind of show?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Perfect, thank you, bud.
Yeah, so basically you would go like this and then turn him. Whoops. Fuck.
Yeah, the positioning is the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I should be doing the initial positioning. So Devos, unless something goes wonky, you should be able to just bring your mob to where Newt's standing, and then press a single button, and that's about it. Just call out if you have a resist or something wonky happens, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, melee. Just
Okay.
be careful when he's positioning it with the ad. It's not easy. So like, don't pull aggro. You're gonna die instantly. He hits
Is the
with your
aggro
DK.
a lot for the fucking on the ads?
Oh
Like
yeah,
the little
the
chart?
ads they hit like
Oh, they,
5k auto attack or something.
yeah, they hit for a lot. Like if the damage meter picks it up, then Devos and I will be top DPS kid on our level.
Yeah, their taunt is the glue taunt type, where it'll just glue for 20 seconds on or as long as the taunt
Okay.
is up, basically. It's not
I have a
something you can
question out of
go over.
context a bit.
Okay.
Since we probably won't clear it Thursday, are we extending or we going to do like
Well, we're gonna start at 8, right, on Thursday.
Mhm.
So we'll have 4 hours, and if we don't, if there's bosses left, I think it's gonna be like Saf and KT. Then we'll go back like Sunday.
You think in 4 hours we'll do it?
I think
If everybody comes prepared, yes. We can. We have the
Yeah.
ability. It's just
4 hours
a matter of
is
knowing what you're doing.
yeah, 4 hours is doable. It's just like maybe there's gonna be like KT left or something, or if Saf is really hard.
Okay, well.
But I think we can clear all of the other wings.
So if there are like one or two bots left, are we gonna extend them to clear it?
We'll,
Yeah, it's called Sunday.
yeah, if maybe we'll extend like 30 minutes or something, but we'll just go back Sunday. I think if it's too long, we'll see.
So, Devos, do you have any questions about Resuvius before we head on? Because like this fight is 95% you and me working together, or
Or you
else
guys can
everyone
discuss
dies.
it because we have still a lot of bosses to explain. But you guys can talk about it and.
Well, you can talk about it now because we're gonna pass through this trash, which is
Exactly.
fucking cancer, and the boss, which does nothing.
Pretty much,
Beforehand.
if I get a resist, I'll just let you guys know, right? If I get a resist, do I just keep trying to mind control?
Yeah.
Or...
If you get a so let's say hypothetically, so I start off the fight, everything goes well, get him into position. I tell you 5 seconds to shield wall ends, or there's a little whisper macro or whatever we have going on, and you start picking up your mob and it gets resists. Just start picking up another mob and just announce the resist so that I know, and then I'll just wait for you to pick it up with the next one.
Does the mob get the debuff even if you resist?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why there's 4 mobs. Like, you have a 60-second rotation. There's 4 mobs.
So even with +3 hit, I can still get a resist.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
still get like it's unlikely like, but yeah, we could still just get RNG fucked right at the beginning because 1% times a couple more 1%, and that's GG.
Oh yeah, here don't target the boss. It starts the fight when you enter the room, so don't cast
What?
anything on him.
You mentioned that we're healing the instructors' understudies, right? When they're taking
Yeah,
it.
that's gonna be there will be healers will have assigned for the tanks who will still be tanking ads that are not being currently mind controlled, and then everyone else will just be spamming on the understudy tanking.
If we lose one understudy, is that a wipe?
Probably
They're not gonna die
not.
that fast. They're not gonna die that fast, but like you can pump them also when they're tanking, right?
If
You can heal them
yeah,
up.
yeah. If we lose an understudy early and we have bad RNG, yes, but just losing an understudy is not an insta wipe. It is a pain in the ass though, because that means we'll have to do repositioning. It'll probably be like someone like Beef will have to pop shield wall, pick up the Resuvius,
I'll probably
possibly,
pop a lip
possibly,
because
yeah.
I'll fucking
But
die.
but yeah, possibly die while trying to reposition him and while we get everything else together. So understudy dying is really bad.
So I
Because
guess
you can do like AoE taunt on them and like lip and repositioning as a tank.
Beef,
Don't
if you
die.
died, wouldn't somebody need to pick up one of the ads then as well? Like somebody needs to
Yeah,
be able
like
to do
what,
that.
like somebody like Shigs or Neely can pick up two of them. Like they don't hit that hard when they're getting tanked.
Yeah, they don't get hit hard, and by that point, there's only a healing threat to worry about. Those mobs do have to be taunted off of us though when we drop them. So
Oh, they actually reset their aggro once their mind control drops.
wait, it does?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, I'll take that. Either way, Devos, we should just give tanks a heads up. Just dropping
Well,
square.
the tank that has no mob on him because it's mind control. He's gonna wait like on top of you basically for you to drop it to pick it up. That's the only thing they're gonna be waiting for. They're gonna be like DPSing or building rage on the boss and waiting for you to drop it.
I'm starting this.
I hate this guy.
Yeah. Well, this is just boring, especially the live side. Just like people are gonna be falling asleep over here.
Yeah, live side is gonna be me and Shigs tanking, me the right side and Shigs the left side, and we're gonna be killing like mobs in order that they spawn. There's like a kill order, and we pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, the priority is the rider,
Live
then the
side,
death knight, and then the small guys.
yeah, live side. There's gonna be like mostly casters and priests for shackles, and two tanks. And on that side, which is the other side, you can look at it. It's gonna be all the shamans and melees and Neely over there.
Okay, so just if anyone's unaware, the mechanic of this fight here is the room's divided in two, and everything on where Nude is right now, that's the live side. Everything that the raid kills in there will respawn on the other side as a comparable
Different
mob.
mob.
Different but comparable, yeah.
So like sometimes on the live side, we want to pace ourselves and not kill too fast to overwhelm the other side.
Yeah, if you just nuke everything on live side, you're wiping the raid because dead side will not be able. They'll get overwhelmed.
There's a lot there's a lot of ads that do like arcane explosion on that side, melee side. So that's the only place you're gonna pop like an arcane pot is melees and shamans on
Yeah,
that
these
side.
blue guys do arcane explosions, and it's by far the most damage this fight will put out.
Yeah.
And especially since we have so many melee.
So
it's gonna
arcane
hurt.
pots for melees on this fight. That's about it.
Can you interrupt it? The arcane explosion?
No, it's instant.
No, yeah, it's instant. So that's why we don't want to kill too many mobs at the same time, right? So you guys don't get an army of mob on the other side. So what we do is like sometimes when we have like an overflow of mobs, we're gonna shackle some. We have like 5 shackles in our raid, so we're gonna be like shackling 5 mobs, so you guys don't have as many to kill.
Well, if we can do 4, that'd be fine too, because an extra priest on the other side certainly doesn't hurt, but 5 works as well.
Yeah. So the live side, you kill the riders, those horse guys, because they do like a dot damage to a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Kill
it's
the
a
death
shadow.
You kill the death knight second if you're a caster, and then you kill the trainee. And the trainees are most likely going to be the candidates where we're going to shackle them because they get transformed into a little ghost that do those arcane explosions as you see there.
So is it just a timer, or is there a certain amount of mobs that you need to kill in order for it?
4 minutes and 34 seconds or something.
Yeah, there's like 4 minutes of waves basically. It's like kind of waves like on Nef. Like you kill the waves and they're timed. And then after those waves, the boss is gonna come down in the arena while the door is closed. And when the boss is on your side, you like DPS the boss, and then it's gonna swap sides. And eventually, once all the trash is dealt with, the door is gonna open, and then you can just kill the boss. He has like 250k HP or something.
Yeah, up to 400. I don't remember.
It's like
it's
really
very low.
Like once it's the arena, like he has HP for like you can kill him in like 25 seconds even or something.
Okay, I should probably explain this side though.
Yeah, real quick, I want to go over like just generally. So Priest, I'll post something in Priest channel. It's just all we have to do is there's going to be a shackle rotation. There'll be a specific mob, it's going to be
The trainees.
yeah, the trainees, like Beef was saying, and just every time they pop up, you'll shackle it. You'll just have a macro that can whisper the next person that they have next shackle. It's easy. All right, sorry, go ahead, Newt.
No, that was perfect because I was gonna also say that on that side, like you'll be so bored, you'll just be ping ponging shackles for fun.
When we kill the riders on the living side, we'll call it out. That's when you guys get like a death knight and a horse. The horse does a knockdown stun. So like you want to kill the death knight first, then the horse, then the riders, then the trainees. Trainees are the small ghosts.
Just one shot.
The ghost dudes, yeah, do most damage. Well, okay, let's talk about this positioning. Why I marked it like this. If you're melee, you can stand and not cross this line ever, this imaginary line, and shamans can just stay here and be protected by you, and all the mobs from these bone piles will come straight to you, and you don't have to like be surrounded completely like old strats. People would just stand in the middle here.
Our
You just
strat was to go to that corner, yeah, in private. So like we have all shamans on this side, so like the bounces heal the most people here by waiting the mobs to come towards you.
It's actually really imperative that melee don't move up too far or go like or chain too far back.
Yeah, the reason why shamans want to stand far away is because the two Death Knight mobs that die over there and spawn over here do a very nasty mana burn, and they have to be tanked further away from the shamans. But these mobs can be stunned and disarmed, and they should be because they have a pretty nasty cleave ability that does a lot of damage and also sunders everybody around them. So you don't want to be like dealing with that. Just stun them, disarm them, and kill them.
Probably, yeah. I'll need like a fourth off tank for just for this fight.
And you want to prioritize riders when they spawn over here. It's going to be like a Death Knight looking guy because he well dangerous, not really. He has very low health, and so it doesn't cost you anything to kill him very fast, and then just go back on the ghost. And
Does the boss have any mechanics, or is it just tank and spam?
yes, it does. He spams the shadow bolts around. He will attack the beef, and he also removes everybody's health and mana by 10% every 20 seconds or something. All stats, sorry. Every 20 seconds. So
As a DPS, there's not really any mechanics except like don't
He'll die quickly.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
burn
I
him.
mean, he can actually do a decent amount of raid damage if like most of the raid is dead and you're trying to like 15 man it. But for like New said, he has like 400 or 500k. Like you just shit on him.
If everyone's up, pop cooldowns, blow him up, he's dead.
yeah,
So,
we on
did I
this side we can afford to
misunderstand?
save cooldowns.
Does he spawn in on either side while we're fighting the ads, like a little bit? Like he just teleports
No,
back and
No,
forth?
he spawns at the end. Like
Okay,
when there's
that's it?
almost he spawns like after 4 minutes when there's almost no ads up. And
Okay,
yeah.
easy.
Yeah. He
you're
spawns
still alive.
on our live side once like we finish the last wave, and you guys will have to clean up some ads. But we might have some shackles on live side, so we have to keep them up during this if there's shackles. But you guys will have time to clean up the last trash before
Okay,
it comes on
easy.
your side most of the time.
I,
There might be like one ad left or something. Just like finish the ad and then go on the boss. Or something.
what's that, Maeve?
What side am I on? It's not
You're gonna be on dead side. Yeah.
dead side. Okay.
That was gonna be so real quick for the healers. Just note that we're gonna be kind of segregated. There's gonna be like maybe one shaman on live side and maybe one priest max on dead side, depending. So there's live side's not gonna have NSs and chain heals, and like dead side will not have shields. So just be prepared for that.
Oh boy, the cancer boss.
Pogger fight.
The
Don't
cancer
worry,
boss.
I can explain it. I'm confident. Yeah,
Stack
I've worked it
them
up.
and AoE down.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 3 months from now we can try.
I don't think that's gonna ever work.
I think you can burst one boss with enough
There's no
DPS.
with the shield wall. There's no way.
Then they split with the and they go back to their corner. retail strat.
Okay.
I guess can open up the spreadsheet. There's like a diagram that's kind of.
When we're gonna do
Sus-
speedrun, we're gonna do this.
Oh boy.
Okay. First, the pull. If you're here about where this broken texture seam, which is not broken on classic, but about this range, you're pulling the bosses. So what we want to do, at least the tanks,
Yeah,
want
there's
to
like
go
a.
around here,
Yeah,
hug
and
the
then you
wall.
face the skull.
You get to this green sludge over here, and then you walk forward to this,
Stay in the lowest with the skull.
and you can stand here comfortably.
If you stay on that line, they don't aggro.
Yeah, if you're like one of the tanks that's gonna go in the back, you would start there. Basically, all
Or
the tanks start
or a
there.
healer that's starting with one of the tanks back there.
Yeah.
Were
Yeah,
you
and
taking that in the middle?
what?
The what?
You taking the boss to the middle?
No, no, no.
No.
It's before the pull. You can go up to the skull without pulling.
But
To
why you wanna go there?
Because you
like
want to
if
split
you're a
them
tank,
out faster, especially Zeliek.
like yeah, if you're like the tank on Zeliek, you want to bring him in the back
yeah,
right corner, so you have to
That-
be there.
that's
Otherwise,
just
it's gonna mark the raid at the start.
that's just for tanks and applicable healers. Everyone else should be back in the corners or
Yeah.
Okay, so Skull is staying. The meteor boss is gonna be going on Skull over there. X is gonna be Mograine, not Ravender. He's gonna be the tank slapper. He's going on X over here. These are the two bosses we'll be engaging. Zeliek is gonna be going square over there, and Blamo. Well, Zeliek the Cthulhu Eye Beam, and Blamo, the Void boss, is gonna be going on Moon. We're gonna be having
There's
4
two.
groups. They're gonna be doing rotations, which we can
Yeah,
explain
one
later.
sec. The first thing I want to explain is gonna be like 2 4 tanks rotation, one for the north part of the room and then one for the south part. If you check on the spreadsheet, you can see I'm gonna start on Tane. Mogreen's gonna be Shigs, and then there's gonna be Nuck and Neely. You guys are gonna start in the safe spot. The safe spot you can see Nit marked it in the room right there. It's the
We call it the
diamond.
church.
So like when you're in the safe spot, you're farther. Like every boss has a huge, like I think it's 40 yards or something.
65.
65 yards AOE around them, which debuffs you and puts a mark on you. And every marks that gets reapplied does like a stacking shadow damage. So that's why you can. Yeah, a threat bump as well.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
But yeah, so like you guys are gonna start those. You guys are gonna be relief tanks, and you're gonna start in the safe spot. So for the tanks, it's always the same thing. You wait 3 marks, and you'll have your also your ZG trinket on. By the way, you wait 3 marks, and then you go in this safe spot. For example, I don't know if you're gonna pull the boss. Probably not.
I'll
Okay.
stand here.
So yeah, after 3 marks, you go. Like for example, Nox gonna relieve me. Then you go.
It takes 10 to 11 seconds to get here. So by the time you get here, you're gonna get 1 mark already. So
Yeah.
quickly.
Then you pop your ZG trinket just before taunting, and you taunt. And sometimes, if you're really fucking unlucky, you'll get a resist, even if you pop your ZG trinket. But the ZG trinkets last long enough for 2 taunts if you pop it just before the taunt.
Okay.
So you can taunt. It's almost impossible that it's gonna resist twice.
But there is a problem with that though. If you're using the trinket right as you get here, it won't be up for the other boss.
Yeah. It
So
won't.
it's a matter of whether you want to use 2 on this one and 0 on that one, or 1 on this one if you pop it like right as you're walking up here, because it's a 15-second buff. So it's like questionable which one is better.
So do you save your challenging shout just in case shit hits the fan and you got nothing up?
That then
Okay.
you have to retaunt it. Yeah, you have like if you're challenging as a last resort, you have to retaunt as soon as it's up, right?
Yeah.
Because once the challenging drops, it's gonna start running across the room to the other tank, and it's gonna be a wipe at that point. So you, yeah,
Yeah.
if you have to mocking or like AoE taunt as a last resort, you have to retaunt it after that to regain control on it. Okay, so we can explain the mechanics on this skull guy. What he does is he does like a meteor like AQ, like the statues in that corner that we were right there. And when you're assigned as a DPS in that corner, if you're a caster and a melee, you guys all go stack up next to the tank, because if you don't stack up on the tank, we will wipe. We get one shot by the meteor as a tank. So you stack up on the tank.
Yeah, at all times. Well, okay, let me go one by one thing. First of all, like if you're a healer, you can outrange this, and you should probably, because
Yeah.
there's no reason to. And it's a 20-yard range, so you can stand here and heal.
Or
and
go a little more to your right, please, Newt. If you're a healer, you're going to be rotating in from here by this wall, so you can just stand around the area he is there, and then you might still have range to heal people in safe spot if need be as well. But that's the optimal spot.
By the way, if you're a tank, disarm and cooldown. These guys are disarmable, and it helps a lot.
What the fuck is going on right now?
What do you mean?
I'm already lost.
Okay.
We'll explain. Don't worry. It's just a lot of things to explain.
Okay,
So
let me explain the mechanics of each boss. It's pretty simple. This one, you'll stand on top all the time. I'll explain the rotation later, how you have to stand in for the meteor, but basically all you're doing is standing on top.
Is that where the melee are supposed to be?
Doesn't matter when melee
No.
and rage. It's all four. It's gonna be 4 DPS groups, and it's gonna have a rotation. I'll explain that in a minute. Let me explain
So
the mechanics.
like the tanks rotate every 3 marks, the DPS also rotate every 3 marks. So there's always gonna be like we're gonna have like
Let's not
assigned groups.
confuse people. It's
I'm just
let's
saying.
do the mechanics first.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is just gonna, you can stand wherever the fuck you want around this area here. This is just gonna be tank slapping the boss with fire damage. It's gonna hurt a lot.
Does
On
like
this
a
boss,
25% like fire damage that does a dot on the tank. So healers that are there, that's gonna be like the highest damaging one.
That's the most like real quick. So he does like a fire dot. It does a lot of damage up front and then tapers off. It's like a reverse curse of agony.
It's 2k up front and like 800 every.
yeah, it can proc back to back.
This is where you want to burn mana and save cooldowns, shields, etc. Because that's the place where tanks are most in danger of dying. Is that guy right there?
Last stand and shield walls on this horseman if possible.
Okay, so this guy right here is Eliek, the white guy. He's gonna have a Cthulhu eye beam. We're not gonna have melee on this for the most part.
Yeah, melee if you're. Yeah, it's max to melee.
So range, they're gonna be spread around here. All information indicates that it's 5 yards spread, but I don't know. That's questionable.
I would spread out even as a range on this guy.
Yeah, you have to spread out.
Yeah.
So it's a 35-yard range for the eye beam, and it can chain to people, and it hurts a lot. So when you're here, and I'll explain in a minute what can go wrong here when the group swaps. Once we explain that, but basically you're just gonna be spread out here the entire time, and if you're walking through here, you don't want to chain people. Like you might want to walk over one person if you're a tank swapping here, but you don't want to go like in the middle of them and like chain 4 people with an eye beam.
Well, ranged shouldn't even be stacked there, should they?
No, but you don't have much room to work with there anyway. It's going to be 2 healers and like 5 range DPS, so you have to spread out.
And maybe like 2 melees can go in eventually once the other 2 horsemen are dead.
Yeah, I mean, once we get to these 2 bosses, it's no longer a race.
Yeah, the
like
fight
whatever.
is basically won.
Yeah, we don't have to rush anything. And on this boss, black shit is gonna show up under your feet. Move the fuck out of it, or you'll die.
What's that called? I forgot.
Void
Zone.
Void Zone. Okay.
It's on the picture in the Naxx assignments page.
Okay, so
Wait, you went a bit fast on this one. That's really important. I want to explain some things to the tanks. When you're tanking it, you're standing against a wall here, and every 10 seconds, you probably have like a DBM timer for this. She's gonna cast Void Zone. You have like an alpha second to move out of it before the ticks comes up. It's like 4K shadow damage. So like you want to move her around the wall to like stack up the little circles on the ground. Uh, so you still have like space to tank her, but you want to stay around those walls
yeah,
basically.
you don't want to bring it close to us at the church over there.
Yeah.
Does she cleave at all? I don't remember.
No.
No, she doesn't hit hard. She's just the circles that does a lot of damage if you don't move up.
She's still hit like a decent amount, but healers can even like stand on like maybe not quite on top, but close to the tank to keep all the.
If you're a healer healing a tank here in this corner, you can get a circle spawn under your feet too. So like you move out, stop your heal, move out. Otherwise you die.
Hit levitate real quick, you'll be good.
Debatable.
All right, so now we can get to the real like what the fuck are you doing in this fight? If you're a healer or DPS.
Well, okay, let's get healers out of the way easily. We're gonna have 3 healers. Like, let's say we have 12 healers, whatever. We're gonna have 3 healers at each corner healing, and at the start of the fight, for the first mark, the first healer assigned of each group will move to the next boss.
You can see the like this is gonna be a bit more complex than that.
Mine's slightly altered, so don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll get healers
Okay,
afterwards.
I won't talk about healers then. Let's talk about the let's explain the damage dealers. So, and I'm gonna use just one group instead of 4, just to explain what you're gonna be doing. So at the start of the fight, we're gonna pull bosses. If you're group 1, I'm group 1. You get here.
You're assigned to DPSing this boss first, for example.
Yeah, and you're gonna be standing here for 3 marks. Once
Stack
the
with
third
the
mark,
tank,
yeah, you stack with the tank at all
the
times.
meteors, and then
And
once your 3 marks are done, when you
stay in for the meteor.
you stay until you see the next group coming in, then you get out here for this one.
You have to. We will have to stand for the meteor because. Yeah. Okay. So the meteor is on a separate timer from the marks.
You'll see it on the DPM, the timer for the meteor.
But I mean, it should be a standing rule, at least for progression, to always stand in for the meteor after the third mark, because this group it takes 11 seconds to get here. So by that time, the meteor is gonna drop anyway.
So if you're DPSing right here, you wait for the relief group to come in. So after 3 marks, they're gonna start moving towards you. You'll see them come in. Once they're in the position with the tank, you can get out, go to the safe spot.
Well, okay, there's 2 things in front here. One, you're gonna get hit by the 4th mark usually on this boss, and you would want to kind of use a fire pot, if not a shadow pot, because you're gonna get hit by 2.2k of fire damage, and then as you're walking out, you're gonna get hit by 3k for the 4th mark, and that's a lot of damage.
Well, if
You
you're not
should expand.
most of the time, like every time you get to the safe spot, you want to bandage. That's the standard practice.
Yeah, but if you want to like absorb some of this damage, you can pop fire pot just as the 3rd mark goes out, and then absorb the meteor, and then just walk back to the spot here. Then you're waiting for this group over here because you
I think
cannot go
it's-
back on this boss.
I think it's not really clear for some people. The reason why this is the safe spot is the only spot in the room where the spheres of every boss around them doesn't touch you with the marks. So each boss has a different mark that's stacking up, and it takes like what's the timer for it to drop off? Is it a minute?
It's 75 seconds or something.
Okay, yeah. So that's why you want to go to the safe spot. So like you're waiting your turn to relieve the next position you're gonna go to, and by the time you're gonna go back to the safe spot and to the other boss again, the mark that was initially on you is gonna be gone. So
Does
then you
each
can
boss
DPS.
have a different mark? Is that why we're rotating?
Exactly. Each boss does a separate mark that does stacking shadow damage.
How hard
Okay,
is Thane hit? Like, should I be popping greater stun shields on CD, or you're just gonna
Uh,
do a resistance to it,
so
like a fire resist for the?
we'll pre-pop a fire, but I'll be popping stone shields. For exa- the skull and X are the hardest hitting ones.
Yeah.
That's why I put Shigs, me, Neely, and you
Okay.
in front. And the back four tanks, that rotation's gonna be a much easier. Like the horseman, it's for much less than those.
Blamo can still hit for a decent amount, but it's fine as long as you can do the void zone mechanic. Like if
Mhm.
tanks or healers die to void zones, it really screws over everyone.
If a tank dies, basically a wipe. So if one of the 8 tanks die, it's a wipe. Unless we already have a horseman killed.
Blamo sucks because you have to stop your healing cast and immediately move, which
Yep.
sometimes causes some downtime on heals on the tank.
If you're tanking, you have a shield on and you have mitigation gear and everything on, and you disarm on cooldown. Shield
Okay,
block on
so
cooldown.
individual bosses have different mechanics. Know those mechanics. You DPS, get 3 marks, and this boss
Okay,
meteor.
let's do a full rotation nuke. So like you
that's what I
started
wanted to
there.
do.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you went back. Okay, so
yeah, let me start a timer to do a real time. So let's say we've started a fight, 20 seconds in, the first mark is gonna go out. So it's mark one just gone out. You're DPSing. Like the groups are gonna be here 3 and 4. They're just gonna be chilling there. Mark two is about to go out. You're DPSing. The other group, the group two, is gonna be DPSing the other boss over there. And the Mark three is gonna go out here. You stand in for the meteor. You wait for the meteor and for your relief group to arrive here. They're gonna be arriving in 10 seconds or
like
about now,
so
and then
not
you go out.
taunts as well. So the
Yeah,
tanks comes out as well with the DPS.
yeah. The tank will have to stay in a bit longer than
Yeah.
the rest. Uh, but
If you're a tank, you always make sure the other relief tank has aggro before leaving. So that's always the thing.
okay, so this is the mark. This is now Mark two on that, or Mark one on this group over here.
Don't worry
And
about the mark timers, but yeah, just like at 3 marks, you come back, right?
yeah, and you basically the group three relieved you over there, and group four relieved group two over there, and you're waiting for marks. It's gonna be one more after this. Well, actually, it should be now. This
Now,
group just got
Mark
three
6
marks, and
hit.
you go over here.
You'll see DPM Mark 6. Now you go. You relieve these guys.
Yeah, and you'll be staying here for 3 marks, and that's basically the entire rotation. You're just ping ponging between these two bosses and the church.
Mark 9. Mark 9. Yeah, go.
So you don't even go to the other fucking side at all. Like it's just
That's
between
later.
those two
That's
bosses.
later.
There's a thing. If you're a caster DPS, sometimes when you're in the safe spot waiting for Mars, you can DPS a little bit on the back horseman. But if you're melee, that's your whole rotation.
Yeah, the most important thing is staying here for the meteor, or the tank will die.
If you if you know what you're doing, you can like when if you're full HP right in the safe spot and you're a caster DPS, you can go DPS Zeliek or Blomo for like 1 or 2 marks and then follow your standard path. But mostly like every DPS gonna be DPSing the front two. Yeah, don't do that progression, but once you know the fight, you can DPS the back ones as a caster, but so
Yeah.
basically, the reason why we want to nuke Skull and X is once they're dead, we can focus on the back ones, and at that point, you have 8 tanks. It's super easy. You just like rotate them and kill them.
Really, once a single horseman is down, the fight is exponentially easier, and these two are the most dangerous. So all the DPS is focused on them. That's the point.
Yes. 15-20.
Yeah, that's why you can't really nuke them because that shield wall is fucking annoying.
Bloodlust, purge it, fuck it.
One other reason why you cannot nuke them is because the marks do a 50% threat drop on everybody hitting the boss.
Yeah.
And that means if, let's say, a tank is on 30k threat and you're on 24k, he does the mark. You're now on 12k and the tank is on 15k, meaning that he's two parries away from losing threat.
It's kind of like a knockback from like Broodlord. It reduced your threat by 15% per mark.
My brain can't handle all those. I don't care. Just Zug, like simple mechanics and
There's
Zug
no
does.
No, but just like you just have to memorize your job as a DPS.
Yeah,
Right? It's
exactly.
because
I
we're
don't give a fuck
expanding
about
everyone's
those.
job right now. Once you know your job, it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
Don't get too many marks.
if
Yeah.
you're assigned a group, you don't even care what the other groups. You just have to know when you are going
Yeah.
to your rotation. And
As a
then just
DPS, it's
follow.
always multiplier of 3. You watch 3, 6, 9, 12. Like you always watch.
Isn't it literally just the marks? That's literally it. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's
Okay.
basically it.
Meteor. Yeah.
But it's a bit more. Yeah, it's a bit more complicated for like tanks and healers. But like tanks, it's not really that hard. Like you just go every 3 marks, you relieve your tank, you make sure you have aggro before the other one leaves, and that's it. Then you just tank it with full mitigation gear. Wait for your relief. Once your relief got it, he has aggro on it, you can leave. Wait to the safe spot for 3 marks. Go to your next target. And there's gonna be 2 groups: a group of 4 tanks for the back of the room for Zeliek and Blomo, and 4 tanks for the front of the room. You'll see it on the spreadsheet, but it's the same thing. Basically, you relieve from the safe spot every 3 marks. That's the fight.
Who are the tank, by the way?
Uh,
The extra?
I put some names on the spreadsheet, but we're gonna swap. We're gonna switch it every week if like they don't want to always be the same.
When we kill the first two, it gets easier, but you still want to like stay in the safe spot until you're called to go in, right? Or
Okay. In terms of the safe spot, is there an equal safe spot on the other side, or is that
No,
always?
you're
No,
always
it's-
here.
Okay.
This is the only safe spot of the room. Is that at the bottom of the stairs there?
One thing I have to say about Zeliek, especially at the pull, he needs to be pulled immediately to this corner because he can chain the whole raid. He can cast the fucking thing almost at the start of the raid.
What we did, the Newt, like we had the hunter stay. Maybe you can do it, but we had the hunter stay there at the skull right here and help the tank pick it up in the corner. Just be fucking woke because when it pulls, like you like only have a few seconds as a tank to pick up your target to go to the corner. Maybe, yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I would like to point out for the people rotating on Zeliek here, and if we have to spread out with too many people, let's say you're a mage over here, and you get the third mark, you start going out. This group that's replacing you, you better lag a bit, delay your uh, arrival here because as this guy's running out and everybody's coalescing, he can get hit by the fucking I beam, then chain him and chain to the second group that's coming in, and then the whole raid over there. So you don't rush it here. Once you're here, just don't rush it.
This is why we don't send melees on this guy mostly. So, but at this point, like we'll be all in the safe spot, waiting our turn. So just like take it easy. Like it's not a rush. Kill it.
oh shoot.
I think priest will need to go over the like rotations for healers, but it's a bit more complicated for healers. It's not the
It's
same.
not too complicated. It's slightly different.
Just know your job basically, and it's always the same thing. You just know your like everybody's not rotating at the same time for healers, but just know your rotation. It's easy.
I mean, basically everything's on the spreadsheet. So if you could like do me a favor, Newt, and like stay over in that corner or
What?
or any corner, just any Death Knight corner, and then I'll give an example, and that's all.
And I start on this.
Sure, we'll start at Melgreen. So if you have the spreadsheet open, you'll see the little graphic, and if you look over at the High Lord Mograine corner, it says healer J, E, and F. They'll be corresponding to whatever names I have in there. So if you're a part of E or F, all you're doing is a big square all the way around. So from Mograine, you head up towards Zeliak, then Blameau, then Thane, back around. It's every 3 marks. That's if you are say healer J, which is going to be shamans. So if you're in the white rotation, then you're doing a triangle instead. So if you go back to Thane, please, or not Thane, sorry, Mograine. Then from here you do, like if you start here, then you do go to safe spot next after 3 marks. Then you cut across after another 3 marks, you go to Blameau. And then after 3 marks, you go back down to Thane, 3 marks, then finish the triangle. And that's just because Zeliak like really needs no extra healing. But as much as DPS should be bandaging and whatnot in safe spot when possible, it doesn't help to throw in a couple extra heals there. Also, a big thing I will be trying to respect if we have rolled buffs up over at Horseman. I'll be trying to respect people like Frog and whatnot who have buffs banned. But like renews and whatnot are pretty big here because we spend so much time running that like hots are actually super useful. Also for shamans, another part of your rotation is keeping you like closer into the front of the room to drop totems whenever possible. You may not be able to drop totems perfectly for your group while they're going in every time.
Yeah, I don't expect totem uptime in this fight.
That's just a fact of the fight. So same thing for the melee who's like, where's my Wind Fury totem? Well, you don't
He's
get
across the room.
You don't get it all the time this fight. That's just the way it is.
Build my parse.
Yeah, this
Too
fight
bad.
this fight is like one of the fight that is not really parsable.
I mean, nothing in this, bro. There's so much RNG in this fucking raid that it's gonna be hard to parse consistently. High.
But yeah, once we've cleared that, basically, like healers, it's gonna be pretty simple. Like you're gonna be swapping every 3 marks, just at different intervals and everybody else. Yeah, just like make sure you know where
a lot
you
of
are.
healers die to void zones. It's a huge killer on Blameau side.
Watch your feet. When you're healing at Blomo, you watch your feet every 10 seconds, but you'll see a timer for it. Just watch your feet.
I know the old private server strat, because of how laggy the server was just to start moving whenever the void zone was about to be cast, and then when it cast, you just kept moving and you were out of it.
Well, they didn't even show up sometimes, but whatever.
I know, but that was one of the strats to deal with it, was you just moved anyways, because if the void zone was on you, then you were alive.
All I can say is I'm glad we're going over this as with as many people as we have now. Because imagine we just tried explaining it from 9 to 11:30, and we still have 2 bosses. Imagine trying to explain that shit and doing it
in raid. Yeah, it's impossible. That's what we did back in Brad server. Like we explained, it was just impossible to explain. There's also some videos on Horsemen that go over it, like more like as globally, but just basically you know your job, and yeah, that's it. Once you know your job and your rotation, it becomes much simpler. Like just forget forget about everybody else.
Yeah, I have one question. So after Morgraine and what's the meteor one? Thane dies. You know, the melee when they go for the marks on their side, it's basically just fucking DPS. It's the same shit, but on their side and
Yeah,
no
so
mechanic.
Yeah, the thing about the melee though is you like will only be able to send maybe like 2 melee at the same time, right? On Zeliek because he does that chain beam.
Yeah.
That does especially more damage every chain. So
and the other one is like the little black voids. You don't stand in that bad shit, but is it hard to do as a melee? Do they stack right around the boss, or
that might be a problem if a lot of melee are on Blameau?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it spawns under. You just move out of it, and the tank will move out as well.
Okay.
But basically, once the 2 are dead, most of the time you'll be waiting for the. You'll go DPS once, and then you'll have to wait 90 seconds to DPS again. So it's just boring. You just have to wait. You can't do anything else.
Okay.
Yeah,
So like,
just check your Facebook. You know,
yeah, at that point,
always.
the fight is kind of won. It's just like we have to wait for the like to DPS when the marks are down, basically. But yeah, you'll be like spending most of your time in the safe zone at that point. Hey,
Okay.
Saf, let's
Uh,
go.
this fight is cancer, and the whole point of this fight is to avoid excess damage because he has the frost aura that's unavoidable, so everything else should be avoided as much as possible to save healer
So
mana.
300 uh, frost damage every 2 seconds. No, 600 damage every 2 seconds.
Yep.
Reduce exponentially by what frost resist you're wearing. Like we said, you guys all should be wearing like a frost set for this. It's gonna be really hard week one, but at least like in the shaman groups, you guys will have like the 60 from shamans, 60 frost resist, and like there's a way if you're not in a like if you're a mage or something and you're not in a shaman group, you can pop the magic resistance potion. They give like 50 resist for 3 minutes. That's also good. That's kind of like a totem since you're not in a group.
Okay, so speaking of excess damage, there are three ways you can get this excess damage from. One is from blizzards. They're gonna be spawning curtains of blizzards around. They hit for 3 to 4k damage, and uh, they will slow you down for 65%.
You can look at the
If
spreadsheet
you get
too.
caught by it, you're fucking dead. But thankfully, Blizzard allows you to like a certain grace period once it spawns on you, you can move out of it.
Yeah, if you move instantly as a melee, like you won't get damaged.
Yeah.
You just everyone has to move instantly if they get caught in a blizzard, because if you get caught with that 65% slow, you can get just exponentially stuck in it. Like
Yeah, you'll die.
you'll never be able to move out of it, and
Yeah.
you will die.
Yeah, another mechanic. It's gonna be a life drain. It's gonna go to 7 or 9 people. Uh, it needs to be decursed immediately because not only is it doing this excess damage to us, it's also healing for double on the boss. It takes for about like 2.2k shadow
So
damage.
yeah, if you check on the spreadsheet, I like split up the mage on each side. So it's gonna be like 3 mage on each side. And then once the curse go out, it's a curse, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So like once the curse go out, you have to decurse anybody in your range. Otherwise, it's
So
the boss heals too much and it's a lot of rate damage.
Druids can and should decurse as well, but that's like
Yeah.
completely dependent on
There's gonna
what
be
you're doing
Shigs and
for
Mave on the other
like,
side.
but the decurses are really high prio.
So yeah, there's gonna be 4 decursor on each side. So Shigs and 3 mage and Mave and 3 mage on the other side.
Okay, we should probably make a consensus on positioning. But one thing for melee, this guy has a huge hitbox, and he also has a huge tail swipe radius. So what you want to do is kind of dead on straight, like on the
Could
side
be
here,
like in the
and stand
center,
max range.
center on each side.
Yeah, from him because he
You
also
you
does a cleave, which is a chain cleave, by the way, like Veil.
yeah. I think for pool, I might keep it like facing this way, and then when after the he goes flying, I might face it the other way.
I really don't see the point of turning him away. We can always keep him here because then we can use just this half of the room at all times, and we don't have to rely on the RNG for ice tombs to hit too far on this side. If everybody's on this half right here, then you just have to stand 10 yards apart. And if you let's say he goes into an air phase and comes down, you tank him here. A hero can just comfortably stand here, and another mage can stand here. It doesn't really matter. Nothing will hit them. And the tail swipe is really huge on him. So if we're turning him around, it can just hit anybody. So I don't know.
I'm a professional nude.
I know you are, but the other people aren't.
Yeah, but nobody should be standing behind here where you're standing right now. Like they're gonna be across the room on each side.
Yeah. I mean, that's the easy part. The hard part is the ice tombs. If they all go on one side, then we're fucked. And this eliminates this part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting at. It's the most beneficial for the ice tomb phase. Yeah, you can pretty much stand right here. You won't take any cleave damage
And
or anything.
this fight is pretty simple. Basically, is like you're gonna have assignments to spread out in the room. Like healer's gonna be spread out, caster's gonna be spread out, and then melees are where the he put his mark, moon and square, two stacks of melees on each side. I'll be tanking it there, and then after a few seconds, after like you know the timer for it. I don't know what the fuck the timer is, but
For a phase.
yeah, it's like
It's 35 to 40 seconds into the fight, and then every 60 seconds after that, he'll
okay,
go
yeah.
up for 30 seconds.
You
Yeah,
see,
it's kind of like
see
the
it there.
poison on world boss dragons. Kind of sneaks up on you.
So yeah, once he goes up in the air, you'll see. You can still target him, but we have to spread out because he does like those like it's kind of frostbolt kind of that targets people. It does a big AoE around the targets and get hit by that when they get frozen. So like if everybody's like in a group, like it's gonna be an instant wipe basically. So like you see him, he goes up in the air. Is he gonna freeze you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this what
Yeah, don't jump.
Why?
nice
Wait, why not?
show
Oh shit.
and then you get Newt showing the how to wipe right here.
Hopefully,
So
Newt doesn't get frozen any during raid because he's always
So
jumping.
Saffron does the deep breath there. It's kind of like Oni deep breath, except for it covers like the whole damn room. And the only way to survive is to hide behind one of those ice tombs he does.
So it's gonna be like random people getting ice blocked. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then like
about that.
everybody after all the ice blocks are gone, you have to go and hide behind one to survive the hit.
No, one will get tombed, but everybody else around them will get splashed.
When you say hide behind it, what do you mean by behind it? That's right. Okay.
If the block is skull, yeah, you'll be facing the boss behind the block, like
Yeah.
Newt is doing right now.
Yeah, so the most crucial part is between the fourth and fifth ice tomb. If they're really badly positioned far away from you, and the fourth one just went out like really far away, you already have to start kind of nudging yourself towards it, but still keeping the 10 yards apart. And then once the fifth one, you won't have much time after it drops to hide behind.
Somebody like sometimes you can be like really unlucky and you're like a fucking mile away when the last one goes out.
Yeah,
Which is
so, but the most crucial part is for the rate to spread on this half of the room, 10 yards apart. And then that kind of eliminates all the RNG with the ice blocks for the
Mhm.
most part.
I
And
saw on
that's
the
pretty much it.
the private server that a couple rogues vanished when the bomb
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the last resort.
Risky.
Don't rely on
Very
that.
I would save that like if you can't make like the run to the block, I'd vanish when it lands.
Nah, they're vanishing to drop threat.
I'm
Oh, by the
fucking
way, oh
vanishing
fuck,
to.
dude.
Also, threat's gonna be like pretty. I mean, I know like you guys are gonna be wearing a lot of frost resist, so like you'll do less damage than usual. But I'll be wearing like mitigation gear in this fight, so
Note
threat's
for
gonna be an issue.
healers,
Good thing
Beef is gonna get chunked
Yeah,
to bits on this
this
fight.
this entire fight is super healing intensive. This
We
is
can never catch a break on this fight.
like basically, yeah. So what do we say? It's 300 HPS unmitigated that the whole raid takes, and then on top of that, yeah, Beef is getting hit fucking hard. Saf does a lot of damage. So there's going to be some healers who are purely dedicated to the tank. And guess what? If the tank dies, it's a wipe, basically. It's another one of those fights.
He's not
Yeah, like
tauntable.
the only way the DPS can really help mitigate that is obviously their own defenses, but everyone's just going to be chugging Greater Frost like crazy on this fight.
Yeah, well,
Giving you like
it's
most of the
also this is why it's imperative for DPS to like have their frost resist gear and to have a reasonable amount of frost resist. Because if healers can't keep you up, like we have to prio tanks and whatnot, you're just gonna die, and then you're kind of just dead weight. Like it takes longer to kill the boss.
Yeah, people need to be topped up during the before the air phase because the ice tombs are going to be hitting people for 3k damage.
Yeah, it's a good time to pop it because it can save you the instant death and if you get unlucky and get targeted by the ice ball.
Yep. Basically, like shamans are going to be pumping some chain heals into melee. Some healers are going to be assigned to beef only, and some priests are going to be like just keeping ranged groups alive that are within their proximity. Use every means. If you prayer of healing, that's only for an emergency, or else you're going to be And I strongly suggest using tier 2. The free hot is just going to be huge on that. But yeah, like the whole fight is basically a DPS race against healers' mana because like it's just not sustainable for too long. Well, that's for like range mostly. Like for the most part, like ranged is going to have their own specific heals. For melee, I don't know if Buki wants to like coordinate like targets for people to start their chain heal on or something like that. That's up to shamans, but for the most part, they're just pumping the whole time, keeping those frost totems, making sure those are up. Yeah.
So, priest, are we gonna pop like pre-pop frost protection, or are we
Yeah,
also gonna
all
pop?
the raids gonna pre-pop frost.
Okay.
Everyone needs to pre-pop frost protection at like just getting positioning down in the beginning is huge, and sometimes like that buys
Even
you
like
ticks.
for progression, I'd almost like pre-pop a shadow as well because that life drain he does a shit ton of shadow damage if you're one of the targets.
Oh, definitely a shadow, like especially if you're a healer, because we can't afford to lose healers at all.
Yeah, also shadow pots will absorb the dark rune damage as well.
Yep, and we're gonna be burning those fuckers.
And then we're popping a mana pot instead of a frost pot during the fight, or is that
Correct.
kind? Okay.
That's the goal. I mean, for you personally, you can innervate yourself. So if you like have to like, if it comes down to I'm gonna die on this GCD unless I frost protection, then yeah, just go ahead and pop that. But other than that, yeah, it's major mana every time.
I feel like KT, we should almost watch like a fucking video about it. It's more easier to explain that way than just run one by one mechanics.
Yeah, though I've watched a number of them and they don't address certain things, uh, how to handle stuff, like how the melee should handle the frost blast and shadow fissures and so on.
Let me check.
What are warriors supposed to bring in unbuffed for frost resistance staff before we go into KT? Do we have all the warriors with that shit?
I mean,
As much
eventually,
as you can.
eventually you should be at like 200, but
Right, but like, what's
week
our
one,
target for?
week one, I'd go like 120, 150 at least minimum.
Okay.
Otherwise, we won't be able to kill it probably.
Well, by the time we reach Saf,
150
we can
unbuffed,
dish
you
out
said?
some pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, 120 on buff at least.
The rogues all have 150 unbuffed.
You can craft like some, like there's some shader piece like bright cloth. It's like greens with
Icy
like
clip.
frost, but
I mean, also keep in mind melee are all gonna have frost
totems.
resist totem, but
Yeah.
you almost can't get too much frost resist in this fight. So
Yeah, if you could decap, it would be the best. But like, we can decap week one, but eventually, like with the frost, pieces, like the good ones, you guys will have like 200 plus on buffed with
Sounds
the
good.
crafted gear. But yeah,
Because that's probably the most important thing, right? Is making sure everyone has enough frost resist at least for the first week.
yeah, but yeah. Also, if we don't kill Seth first night, then we'll have a few days to farm with alts for more frost gear. Which is gonna help a lot.
Our alts need to get attuned though, so
Yeah.
Yeah, on a side note, I have a hunter and a mage that's attuned now. So if anyone has strats or whatnot to help with that, let me know.
Yeah, we can farm trash at the entrance pretty easily. Yeah, with alts, but yeah, all of it is catable and resettable. So
Okay, 10 minutes, KT.
um,
Kill
this
shit.
this
survive
this
it.
first phase is like all melees on A bombs. The casters will kill the walking skeletons before they reach the middle because they explode. Same with the big banshees. The banshees are like the what can wipe you here if they don't
Yeah,
dive
if
before
they
reaching.
get in melee range of anyone, they'll instantly do this gigantic AoE shadow wave that just one shots people, just fucking murders everyone.
Yeah, the skeletons melee can kill, like if they reach close without killing you. But like we have a lot of range in our comp, so you should be
Well,
able to kill this.
priests are also gonna be bored to shit in this phase, so they can shackle the
Yeah,
skeletons as well.
any skellies that get close. Did
This phase is easy. It's just like killing mobs over and over.
how hard did the A bombs hit on the PTR?
You
Stun
can
them.
stun them, yeah. And they don't hit hard, and they're mortal strike, whatever. There's nothing.
Okay, well that's easy because on private server I had to have assigns with like a pre-cast and a pre-shield for every tank because it was cancer. But all right, easy mode.
Rogues just like when they come in, just try to stun them to help us out. Makes it much easier. The A bombs.
The big fat motherfuckers, right?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Like we can't DPS the other mobs. The other mobs are killed by casters, so we just have to wait for the A bombs to come in. Just like let the tank taunt it, and then you can stun it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant damage. It's wipe worthy.
You can like when we have nothing to do, you can like range some mobs with a bow as a melee. And phase one can like help kill the skeletons and shit when there's no A bomb up.
Yeah, you see that like banshee that's kind of moving really close and really slowly? That's like the big range. Like this needs to die or else.
Top priority. Yeah.
Yeah, it has 70k health.
Melee can help kill the little skeletons because you see the A bombs don't come as often. So.
If we get too many skellies, it's bad. But like the banshees are number one prio. Like that's a raid wipe waiting to happen.
On private, we had the mages killing the banshees, and the warlocks and hunter were killing the skeletons.
If you stand in that, you get a damage buff increase. So.
Stop.
No, no,
no.
That's so the diamond right there is gonna be like my tanking position. Also, they don't jump like this. You see this fucking flying foot zone. So like you see this void zone right there that he does like this like randomly under anybody in the raid. So if you see like a spinning circle under you, just step out.
Well, okay. I wanted to talk about this about melee, because there's another ability called Frost Blast that chains everybody 10 yards. It's a very dangerous ability, especially with how many melee we have. What it does, it encases you in an ice block, and everybody in 10 yards is going to be also chained to it. What it does is it takes every second for 26% of your health. So you have to be healed really hard. And if it's a whole stack of melee here, like 5 of you, is going to be a lot of healing.
Yeah, when it's 1, 2, maybe even up to 3, it's all very doable. Like just a healer has to get a like 1 or 2 quick heals in just to before moving on, just to at least like keep you alive. If it's 5 6 people, just people are gonna die. Period.
This is well, it's always gonna be like a few people because you see this 3 stacks. You
Yeah,
see the
no, like
stacks right there.
1 to 3 is manageable though. That's the whole point. Like,
Okay,
This is why we have like 3 stacks of melees.
one thing that's very important is to keep max melee range and to stack on top of each other. The leeway for your positioning is super small. If you move a little bit to the left or right, you're gonna chain the tank or the other melee, and that's 10 people encased in ice tomb. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also,
So
you see
don't push
those.
backstabs.
So you see this frostbolt
yeah,
here. You
facts.
see this frostbolt cast. This one he does that it does a 2 second cast is interruptible. It's a big frostbolt that hits for like I think it's like 6 or 7K on me. It only
9 to
targets
11.
okay 9 to 11 even okay. Yeah, so
It's,
like
it's a one shot.
if you guys don't kick or pummel this, I'm dead.
Good luck, Beef.
Yeah, you're not wearing frost resist.
No. Because we can't rely like we have to have a rotation for every group. The reason why is after a while he's gonna mind control the top 5 and threat, right? Is it top
No,
5?
just tank and then 4 random people.
Okay, yeah.
And then
So
he
it's
sets all
gonna
threat.
it's gonna mind control me. Then Shigs or Neely has to become main tank while I'm mind controlled. Also, like there's gonna be random people, so that's why like most of the time it's like melees and other people get mind control. So like we need to keep the kicks going, or otherwise the tank dies.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things that can go wrong. One, uh, when it's, let's say, Moon's group is turned to interrupt and they all get ice tuned, the X group needs to be cognizant of that and be ready to take over the interrupts because
Well,
this
every
group
group
will
should
not be
be
able to.
no. Every group is gonna be kicking at the same time.
At the same time, no, that would be wasteful. Okay, you can you waste too many interrupts. They might not have for
Well,
the
what
next
I'm what
because
I
he can
mean is
chain these crossbolts
what I
back
mean
to
is
back.
like we have a stack of 5 people, right? In each stack of melee, like one guy from each stack can try to interrupt.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they're all ice tuned, and it's their turn to interrupt this group. The next group needs to be ready for to interrupt while these guys are in the ice tomb.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
well,
saying.
it's either that we called it out, or like we need to be just like fucking wake up. Yeah.
What, the frostbolt? Yeah, he can chain it back to back like second after.
Like
Yeah.
you see right now, he's fucking spamming it sometimes.
Okay, so did you see that shadow feature show up onto me? So what you don't want to do is when that happens is to move to the sides because if a frostblast goes on this group, you'll chain the tank or you'll chain the other group. What you want to do is move backwards a bit out of it. That way you won't chain anybody over here, and then you can go back. So this you don't want to go here.
By
You'll
the
chain
way,
some of them.
the Fisher does like 60k shadow damage or something. So
Yeah, it's an
one
insta
shot.
kill. Well, okay, we should probably talk about ranged as well. Everybody that's ranged, like this inner circle is going to be healers mostly. Outer circle is going to be DPS. You have to stand 10 yards apart because you can also get hit by the frost blast. And another mechanic called mana detonation that you get, and then 4 seconds later you explode for a shitload of damage.
It's kind of like a Baron bomb, but he explodes your mana bar around
Yeah,
you.
yeah. He cuts your current mana in half and then does a damage equal to your maximum mana to anybody in 10
And
yards.
range.
And he
And for
likes
some
to
reason,
do it
it's
as soon as you use mana potion.
It's nature, right? On
yeah. For some reason, it's nature, but it looks like an arcane explosion.
yeah, I don't know.
That's another thing that rarely can but sometimes will go wrong if the melee is moving backwards out of shadow fissure. Try if you're a healer, try not to be positioned here, but position yourselves here. So if this guy gets mana detonation, melee just move here backwards instead of straight backwards. That's just another thing that can go wrong and kill people.
So yeah, once the 5 mind control goes out, that's when the mages needs to sheep everyone. Make sure everyone's sheep because you do extra damage as the mind control. You like it's kind of like Scarum. You become like a fucking insane monster that tries to kill people.
Yeah, and since KT is going to be dropping all threat when that happens, you don't want to DPS the boss anyway. So just focus on CCing the targets for 20 seconds. If you're a warlock or a mage, if you're a sheep, whatever.
Yeah, when the mind control happens, like if you're a melee DPS, be really mindful what you're doing because he's not tauntable. So like if you go hard, you're gonna become a tank. You need to let Shigs or Neely pick it up.
Yeah, and KT hits as hard as Saffron, which is really hard, and you won't survive it.
So once we like kind of, it's always going to be the same. And then the last chaotic phase 3 kind of, it's the same thing except there's going to be 5 guardians that look like an Ubricon going to spawn in each portal around the room.
Can you
And
push him over?
you can, it's at 40% HP that he's going to do that. So the worst timing is when you hit 40% and you have like the main tank get mind control at the same time. Then it's really a clusterfuck because you have to deal with the ads. Like the tanks have to pick up the ads, and then you have no main tank on the boss.
How many shackles can we have out again? Is it
3.
4 or 5? 3? Okay.
Yeah,
So
3, but for some reason on PTR you could scatter trap them, so we can try that as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
so yeah, I guess we'll assign like 3 guys to shackle them, or if they're dead. Like,
Well, it's the priests are going to be spread out through the room. It's going to be whoever's closest. Because as far as I remember, you can't predict like which portal.
don't go if you go over 3 shackles, it's gonna unshackle them all. So be careful about that.
Yeah, one thing, it's a plea from me. If you're on a shackle duty, try to not shackle them close to the boss over here. That's very chaotic and kind of limits DPS when we are
They
supposed to be pushing. But I know it's hard. It's not always ideal.
they shouldn't be in general, just because shackle, like when they come out, they're probably going to have heal aggro right away and going to
Yeah.
go on to a healer. So like priests just have to be aware of that. Like I will say I have wiped us on what would have been a KT kill before because I didn't fade and then shackle, and I thought I could get it off and the fucker killed me. So just if you see one, just fade, shackle it, like let it go run up to a shaman who probably has a shield. No offense, shamans, or whatever you need to do. But being dead helps no one.
So yeah, once we're through like the mind control phase during the ads, those 3 shackled, we're gonna have like Shigs or Neely. Like you can tank both of them like as a off tank if they don't hit hard. The ads as a tank it doesn't hit hard at all. You just like tank them away from the boss, and we finish the boss and GG.
Now the
Uh,
ads gain power though, don't they? They switch targets.
They do. They kind of increase in size and damage and health, whatever. So at some point they'll have to be kited. You cannot tank them anymore. But the boss should be dead by then because
It
by
takes
the time,
a long time before they buff up though.
yeah, by the time the boss is 40%, he pushes into the final phase. He's gonna have equivalent health of Fairlina, so it's not a lot. One thing we haven't mentioned is that throughout the fight, every like 20 or 15 to 20 seconds, he's going to be casting AoE frost bolts on everybody. It's going to be doing 3k frost damage on everybody in the room.
Yeah, this you can't kick that. It's just
Yeah, it's instant.
instant cast.
So that brings me to the other thing with healers in general for KT. There's not there's not super strict assignments for this one because everyone's spread out and you kind of just have to know the fight and know your triage and know what to do and know when to heal a tank or when to, like get a heal off on one of the melee that are stuck in the ice tomb or whatever it's called.
And know when to fold them.
Yes, exactly. Creepy. Thank you.
As a shaman, chain heal may or may not be a good bet on your target, depending on if they're ranged or melee.
Yeah, I mean it's only viable on melee, and even then they should be spread out a bit. So like, you're gonna get a lot less value out of chain heal than you do for most fights.
Yeah, usually. If everybody's huddled around the frost block on Saf, that's a good opportunity to pop chain heal.
I mean, on Saf, there's 2 big stacks of melees, which are good for chain heals. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. The fight can really get chaotic at 40% when the ads are up and then the tanks get mind control. That's when we have to like kind of take back control of the fight. That's the artist. That's the artist part. After that, it's a free kill once we get through that. Yeah, Neely and Shig's are gonna be standing by the throne back there, waiting for the mind control. And they're gonna go both there to wait and pick up become the new main tank. And in phase 4, when the ads are up, they're gonna go pick up ads. Basically, that's about it. You can watch. I'll link like some videos about Seth and Katie maybe to explain more in depth. Maybe Horseman as well, but it's all about knowing your rotation and your positioning on all those fights. Pretty simple once you know what you're doing as your class. It's more overwhelming when you're trying to like figure out what everybody else is doing. Just know what you're doing and it's all easy.
Yeah, and one thing, I mean, we did say about interrupting the frostball cast, but you really have to be prepared to do that for the entire fight. Like you cannot forget about it for a second.
Yeah,
or
it's
the
a
tank
wipe.
is dead. Yeah, and it's wiped.
On 4 Horsemen, you can mark somebody that knows what they're doing as far as the rotations and in and out, and then people that maybe aren't as confident, they can follow their mark in the group.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And that's it. Thank you guys for coming. But
Let's see what KT drops.
So then Kel'Thuzad dies. He drops Hungering Cold and Hammer Twisting Nether, and no matter who they go to, people get hurt. And then about 5 people quit because they're like, "Well, the game's over now. KT's dead."
Feels
And
bad.
then a month before TBC, they log back on like, "Oh, I had a lot of real life stuff going on. You guys got room?"